Yo, T Ray, what's good?
I'm good, my guy. What's good? What's good?
Nothing much, man. Decided to do a lake stream today. I'm trying to get Minicom will be joining. I'm trying to get some other guests on. It's kind of weird because how the time zones we got like you got LA time, you got where I'm at East Coast. You also got that London, so it's kind of hard to try to get everybody the best time. But I'm doing my best.
Yeah. What did you think of the news today, man?
I'm excited. Of course, Blueface versus Temper would have been a bigger, because Blueface is a bigger name. But fighting wise, I think Slim versus Temper might be a better fight than Blueface versus Temper. But I'm hyped.
I agree. I think this is what we needed for this card, especially. I think the card was great already, but it was like with Alex pulling out and Face Temper not having an opponent, this really puts the oomph back in the event. Hopefully, we get Bryce Hall instead of Swarms, even though Swarms is doing a better job than Alex did at promoting. But I do think that Slim versus Temper match, it literally has a lot of ramifications for the YouTube boxing scene, especially that light heavyweight division. Because if Gibb fights the winner and we finally get hopefully Slim versus Temper. I mean, sorry, Slim versus Gibb. That is going to be big. I,
Yeah,
Slim is going to finally get the recognition he deserves because while I agree he just fights tomato cans, I do think there's a level of skill and I would like to see him test it and show it because I think ever since the Ryan Taylor situation, he's starting to get a lot of love in the community, which I'm happy for. And I really want to see him, against a notable opponent so he can finally have ground to stand on when it comes to calling out someone like Gibb.
absolutely. And here's the thing: for years, Slim has been the one calling out people. But like you mentioned, as soon as it was announced, Slim vs. Temper, Gibbs said, "I'll fight the winner." That's the first time Gibb is called out. He didn't really call out Slim, but Slim wins, he's gonna call him out. So, agree, man. This fight can change everything for Slim. When he was with Dubai, I even told him like, "Yo, dude." He really had friends in Ngannou, Tyson Fury, Darren Till, like everybody at that gym, and he just didn't push his content. He shouldn't have collabed with them, even just on TikTok, a 30-second, whatever. It would have helped his name. You guys, that's only certainly is the clout or lack of. But this fight is it, man. Co-main event in London. It really doesn't get any bigger than that.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm a bit disappointed though with one thing. There's one fighter like that I see all the time, like showing little snippets on Instagram constantly, and that's Jay Swingler because I think he's extremely slept on. And from his stories, he looks like he's improved a lot and like put on proper size and conditioning. And I really thought they were gonna announce him on this card, but he's another piece to this puzzle in that light heavyweight division because I think he weighs around 171, between 170 and 175. And I think like that division, and if KSI cuts down to that 175 and he stays within that division is like hype.
Stacked.
It's stacked. You have guys like Taylor Holder, if because Taylor Holder looks like he's bulked up a bit, so he's probably in that 170 to 175 range. You got Slim, Alex Wasabi, you got Austin, like that. That is stacked. That's a stacked division, and to think we went from a kind of mainly cruiserweight YouTube boxing scene where guys like Gibb had to fight a cruiserweight when that wasn't really their natural weight to now we have probably let's say about four divisions. We have a cruiserweight division, a light heavyweight division, a welterweight division, and a kind of middleweight division. It's really shown how much the scene has grown,
Yep.
and I'm so excited for the future.
Well, speaking of future cruiserweight fights, the guest that's arrived, Minicon. What's good, man?
What's good? What's up?
Nothing much, man. We just chatting about the new fight that was announced
Oh yeah,
today.
they
Face
didn't
Temper.
announce the heavyweight division. They ain't, or he ain't saying nothing about the heavyweight division. We definitely got heavyweights now, you know.
Absolutely, man. But what's your thoughts on Slim versus Temper not being a co-main event?
I really think Temper's gonna give that man the work. Um, I mean, I feel like Slim has been like training for a minute, and then I think he had to like take a break because of his eye. I don't know Slim personally,
Hmm.
but I know Temper hasn't taken a beat off. Like he's literally been in the gym ever since our fight. So I know that man looks dangerous right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think storyline wise, this is in the YouTube box community. This was the fight to make. However, like I said, Blueface was a much bigger name. Since he's out, I don't know if much people from like the music industry is gonna tap in and watch it. But for the community, Slim has been wanting a fight. He is called out Gibb, Deji, King Candy, Temper, and he finally has opportunity. Now, yes, I wish he wasn't coming off that eye injury, but aiming when opportunity knocks, you gotta take it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think like I commend him for taking it last minute. But I mean, I know really I've been following it a little bit, and he's been itching to get in the ring with somebody. So it's like it's a blessing. I feel like in disguise, because I think that him and Ryan Taylor wouldn't have been that good of a fight. So I feel like this is a better opportunity for him in general.
100%, man. 100%. I think again, my issue with Ryan, I just don't think he takes this industry. I mean, this fighting seriously. Now he did beat. No, I'm sorry. He lost to Anthony Taylor, but they ruled it a draw, whatever. So I think maybe he got a little humble pie. Maybe we'll see how he acts. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy for so just for the opportunity. I'm with you. I'm going with Temper. Temper looks really like one of the elite fighters. That's why Gibbs said, "Yo, I'll fight the winner." So we might see
Hmm.
Gibbs versus Temper not down the road.
What's Gibbs' weight?
Um, Austin said they signed for 175, between
Uh,
175 and 180.
okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That'll be a good fight. I mean, Temper is tall, bro. Gibb looks pretty short.
yeah,
Um, So
yeah,
it honestly, in my experience, I really don't like fighting people that are that much shorter. So who knows, like what advantage, like how either of them feel? Because some people like fighting shorter people, but like me personally, I don't like fighting shorter people.
yeah. Because if and then again, I know we're speaking like Gill have to beat Austin and Temper have to face Slim, but if that fight happens, that's why I tell people like in boxing is all determined on weight. They don't say, all right, you're 6'1", you're six
Hmm.
one, that can happen. It's not about weight. Like, yo, if you're 175, you're 175, cool. You guys can scrap.
Yep.
So, but again, let's say if somehow Slim does the impossible and beats Temper, boom, we can have, the battle of the beasts of the Middle East. Yeah, that was the original one like years ago, man. Like
Yeah.
they wanted Slim versus Gibb for Battle Middle East, Yemen versus Saudi. So who
Mm.
knows, man? That fight. We got another guest. We got the man Wade, fresh off the KSI interview, who's gonna have the best seat in the house at Misfits. He's he,
Dope.
he he's in it. Let me. Oh, he just left. um, but let's speak a little bit about Misfits. Mekon, your what was your reaction when the rumors of Al Sabi pulling out, or did you know? Because I think you said like you guys train the same gym or something.
No, no, I mean we're just tight.
Okay,
Yeah, and I've been seeing him here and there, but or no, I've only seen him like two times since our fight, two, three times. But I was shocked, but I just DM'd him like prayers, because the people are saying like I was getting calls on my phone because people were trying to like figure out what happened. I was like, I don't know, I'm not gonna get in somebody's like personal space like that. But
yeah,
yeah, people were saying that he got paid off. People were saying this, people were saying that, but it's like in what I originally thought is that he probably got like went into hard on the sparring thing and then got like either knocked out or hit too hard in the head and got concussed. But I don't know exactly what happened. Like I haven't talked to him about it.
Got you. And again, we have other speakers. You guys are more welcome to join in. This is conversation. Um,
But I really wanted to
You think
see Alex versus KSI because I really think people were underestimating Alex.
my
yeah,
thing is the confusion around the where the rumor for the arm injury, the hand injury came from. That's that's what has like this whole situation like skeptical for me because it's like, how do you go from a concussion to a hand injury? Like that's like that whole situation is just fishy to
Who said
me.
it was a hand injury? Or who said it was a hand injury?
There was a release earlier on, like when there was a cryptic tweets from Jake Paul and KSI the night before the news broke. I don't know if it was Keemstar or someone released it was a concussion and a possible hand injury. It was either of the two, and it was up in the air, and no one was able to confirm till the next day when Misfits confirmed. But that's what I'm confused. Like, if he like, I'm not gonna go on and say Alex is lying because I don't think Alex is the kind of guy to go and lie about a concussion. Him having the respect that he has for the sport and knowing that people die in the sport and concussions aren't a joke. I don't think Alex would lie about that. But it's like the whole situation, and then MVP and that whole MVP versus Misfits thing, it just puts a level of like skepticism around that whole situation and the lack of transparency from Alex as well. Because my opinion, why don't you drop the scans? Like, why, if it's a concussion, there shouldn't be an issue with you dropping scans. There shouldn't be any legal like prohibit like legal requirements prohibiting him from dropping scans and saying, guys, this is, or even a screenshot of a letter from his doctor, like what Gibb did, like show that okay, this is legit and end the skepticism. Because I don't think they would have put out the contract like, oh, if you're injured, you cannot put medical documents that belong to you that show that verify you have an injury to stop slander on your name, because that's like that would be the most sensible thing to do, and I think it would kill any kind of skepticism around Alex's injury.
you might want to jump in.
Yeah, I don't know. I have yeah, I have no clue personally. What was Social Showdown about to say?
Oh no, I'm just trying to put my better mic in. That's all. But I was going to say then, I might as well just say something real quick. I'm actually going to the event, as some of you guys know, so I'm going to try and get there early. I don't know if I'll be able to like interview people like Fred does and that kind of shit, but I'd like to see what goes on pretty early on. See, like I'm gonna be like right by the ring tunnels, so I'm pretty much near ringside, but I'm not exactly. Either way, we're in for a really good fucking night. And something I was going to add on to before as well was obviously we've seen what Alex Wasabi could do in the footage lately. Jesus Christ, this could have been one hell of a fight. It's such a shame that we got it robbed from us. And unfortunately, as well, we're probably never going to get to see that fight again because,
I
or
don't
at
think
least as a
no,
spot.
I don't think. Hell no, we gonna see that fight. I don't care if it's sparring or something. They're gonna fight. Like, there's no way that they're not gonna fight. I feel like it's a build up right now. Because it'll build up more if KSI is like, nah, you'll never fight me, blah blah, and then they have the fight later on. Like, I just think it's all marketing.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And as well as, Slim versus Temper, that one, Jesus Christ, that's going to be for a belt, which honestly Slim deserves. And I know a lot of people don't like him, but give the man his credit. He's 3-0, and he's going against a man who could potentially even beat him. Um, and the best part as well is, if he wins that fight, I get to see the fight I've been trying to promote the fucking shit out of to make happen. Gibb versus Slim. I can't fucking wait. I mean, we might not even see that fight at all, but if Gibbs called out both of the fighters today, whoever wins, he gets that fight, and people want to see him fight Temper as well. So it's a win-win. Obviously, we'll see what he does with
Absolutely.
McBroom, but yeah.
But
Absolutely. Go ahead, T-Ray.
what happens though if we end up with a very, because is it 4 rounds they're fighting for, or is it 6?
I would say six. This is for a
Yeah.
championship.
imagine we end up with a close fight, like a very, very, like a razor thin close fight between Slim and Temper, and
Ooh,
that's gonna cause like, let's say Temper wins it, like edges it, because I think Slim is like, I think I give Temper the edge simply because of Slim's eye injury. But if Slim was healthy, and even if he took this fight on 2 weeks' notice healthy, I think Slim would cause a lot of problems with his range, because I think Slim is taller and longer than Temper. If I'm not mistaken,
not
I
to
think
mention Temper's 85-inch reach.
Wait, hold on. How tall is this slim dude?
He's
He's
six
the
foot.
same size. He's the
Bro,
same size as
Temper's
Wasabi.
almost my height. I feel like Temper's like
Slim is tall because
Temper's tall too.
Slim was towering over Fuzi, and Fuzi's a like relatively tall guy.
Fuzi's 5'11".
Yeah,
No, 5'10",
I'm
and
pretty.
Slim's 6
Yeah,
foot dot on.
yeah. No, Temper's taller than Slim.
Yeah, because years ago, Alex Wasabi and Slim they did a face to face at one of those YouTube cons, and so Slim was like maybe a little bit taller than Alex Wasabi, but no,
Mm.
Tim's gonna have the height advantage, the reach advantage. But again, it's just gonna be put it this way. This is the fight that Slim has been wanting. He finally has it. And again, he ain't gonna be 100%,
Yeah, you
but
can't. You can't. I mean, either way, bro. That's what they have. 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks out?
yep,
Yep.
Yeah, it's this is
yep.
literally like, I mean, it's a moment that you can't, especially like in this new world. It's just like expect like with all the stuff that happened this summer. It's like as soon as the opportunity comes, like you can't like pull out because there was a possibility that I was gonna have to take somebody's spot in the same on the same card just because they couldn't get their visa situated. So it was just like I would have fucking took it, and it was like I wasn't preparing for it, but I would have took it 3 weeks notice. So it's just like, you know, if the opportunity comes, you just gotta jump in. Do your best, train.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, as well, I was going to say that as well. Most of the rounds, if not all of them, besides one fight, have been announced already. The first two fights are going to be 3 round, 3 minutes. Well, at least the Sam Hyde Thompson one. I'm not sure about Sol Papi. Might have to go over that one, but that's definitely 3 or 4 rounds. And every single undercard fight is going to be 4 rounds, 3 minutes, 10-ounce gloves, and the main event is 6 rounds, 3 minutes. I was worried about this one because I'm pretty sure there was a strict rule where in the UK, if you've not had an amateur fight prior, you have to wear headgear. But it looks like that's not the case. I think they might have actually changed the rules now because of the future of boxing. So I don't
And
fucking
also
know.
with Showstar, nobody was in headguards.
Exactly. I'm
But so
actually
sorry,
shocked.
we all had 16-inch gloves or 16-ounce gloves. They changed that last minute too because basically they told us that we were all fighting in 10-ounce, and then they told like my contract said that I was fighting in I think 12-ounce gloves, and then
Yeah.
literally I think the day before or on the night of they told us it was going to be 16.
Like I think he was trying to stir drama up, but Vitaly basically said that like Alex requested to change the glove size, but I highly doubt Alex would be the type of guy to do something like that.
No, it wasn't that. It was the company. They couldn't get shit clear because it was supposed to be a pro fight. Like we signed for a pro license, everything, and then I don't know. They changed everything. Like we're not even on boxing rec. Like it doesn't count. So
I think that's due to
Yeah.
the commission because if you
yeah,
watched Liam Shiver's interview with Fred today, he talked about how strict the UK commission is, the British commission is, with regards to fighters getting their pro license. And he said, like, with their
yeah.
last
What's the
event,
commission?
yeah, it was like really problematic to get any kind of pro license for the fighters. So I think it's down to the UK commission.
It's yeah, it's PBA. And, it's like it's really them because I think like it was something about like how they just had to change things last minute. But I know that they like the commission kind of messed up a lot of things.
Hey man, it's Showstar. It is what it is. I want you guys' reaction when Alessandro pulled out, and it was Swarms as KSI's opponent. So first off, Dan, you guys know who Swarms was?
Yeah.
No.
I listened to KSI's song Houdini all the time. I didn't even know Swarms was even in it.
I'm a big UK like grime and drill fan,
Mm-hmm.
so I knew who Swarms was, but the reaction was pretty much like the same as everyone's because I'm a die-hard KSI fan, and when I saw that, I was literally like, You gotta be fucking joking. I was like anyone like I mean the whole Swarms poster with a t-shirt has gifted
Oh
us
man.
the best memes ever. Like every moment I come on the Twitter, I see a new one. I see Swarms as a McDonald's employee. I see him as Wolverine. I see him as an artist. I see him get in his pajamas. So like, thank God, like the promotion, though I will admit, has become better with Swarms,
Yeah.
like the main event promotion. But I'm not excited for the fight. I'm not like
No, I want to
there
see.
isn't.
I want to, even if Storms can't box well, you'll still be able to see what, because fighting an unorthodox, or not unorthodox, fighting like a fighter that's like you don't know what to expect from them. Like even if he's throwing wild punches, it's still like complicated if you're a trained fighter. So I feel like it would be like good rush for KSI to get in there and just like we'll be able to see what KSI can do basically. Because if KSI comes in and he's throwing those like hard rights again, which he said that he's not going to do, but like I kind of see in his training footage like he's still like baiting that right hand. I mean, that's boxing, but like he's doing it a little bit extra. Um, I just want to see like how he's gonna look with the Swarms guy. It's like it's a good look to prepare for his next fights.
I mean, I agree. I agree. But with Alex, I do not know why. Like, I fully believe in KSI, but ever since Alex beat Deji, there has been an air of maybe he can do this, especially after I saw that sparring footage where he landed that beautiful combo. I'm like, this fight could have possibly had an upset for Alex. Then again, we haven't seen any footage of KSI to see how beastly KSI is in sparring, but there was an air of mystery around Alex whether Alex could pull it off. With Swarms, like, yes, the promotion is entertaining, but I don't have that air of mystery and that, like, oh my God, what if? Because Alex provided that for me, which is what made me want to watch the fight. But Swarms, I'm like, okay, KSI is going to demolish this guy within 2, 3 rounds. I'll
Yeah,
watch
but
it.
we
But
want to see what I want to see is a knockout. I want to
yep,
see. I want to see because the thing is, and it'll be good footage for KSI. Because I personally don't think he would have been able to knock out Alex, or possibly he could have landed one. I don't fucking know. It would have been later in the round. But
Yeah.
I think that a knockout with Swarms would be like good. I don't know. It'd be good highlight footage, especially like if you're trying to build up for the Jake Paul fight. Like you need some knockouts under you, and you need to feel a knockout, basically.
I view Swarms as KSI's Nate Robinson, and why I say that is because both of them started off with two YouTubers. Joe Weller being the sort of deadgy guy that Jake faced, Logan being the tougher YouTuber who Jake faced, like Gib. I don't know, he demolished Gib in one round, but you know, Gib is a tough fucking unit when it comes to boxing. And right after that, they're going against. I thought Nate was probably, Gib could beat Nate. That's how I view it, and it's kind of like not a warm up fight, but kind of like a short notice fight that came out of nowhere. Jake's situation was because of COVID, and it was his excuse to fight an athlete. And I know Alex was meant to be the original opponent, but Swarms is like that kind of. He's not really like a YouTube boxer. He's like that, just a regular influencer. And from there, JJ may fight a tougher opponent once again and go down Jake's sort of route, but fight different guys. That's how I'm seeing it so far. Until
the
they're both on the same level.
the problem with that is, and I've looked at it in this way, and which is what scares me about this Jake Paul fight with KSI, is that KSI's path to Jake Paul is extremely short, firstly, and it doesn't give him the time that Jake Paul had to, move up in competition because Jake Paul moved up to Tyron Woodley in a 3-year span. KSI is going to have to move up to someone of that caliber in
Yeah,
a year. Like, because my thing is, and the thing is, he's kind of in a tough position because Gibb is fighting Austin. I think Gibb beats Austin handedly. And after Gibb beats Austin, KSI is going to laugh at Austin and say, you're not worth my time. And
exactly.
it's like, where do you go? Do you fight Dylan Dennis? And KSI himself said Dylan Dennis is unreliable. And we've seen Jake Paul literally run Dylan Dennis down for over a year and just decided, you're not worth my time. So what does KSI do? Who does he fight? Because you can go from a YouTuber and you can go from Swarms to a skilled YouTuber and then jump to someone like a Tyron Woodley or a skilled MMA fighter who's a boxer who can strike, because I think that would be really troublesome for him. But he needs to reach that level of competition if he wants to compete with Jake. And I just don't think he has the time. If he's setting 2023 as his deadline, it needs to be in the winter, not the summer.
Yeah.
I think my issue with Swarms was one. I know I heard that Houdini song, but that's it. Like I didn't when that song came out, I didn't go deep in his catalog. The thing is, I didn't know who he was, and then a question that Wade said, "Okay, can he box? Can he fight?" And that's the thing. And the reason why this is my question is because KSI wants to fight the likes of Jake Paul. Love him or hate him, it's mostly hate, but he's the top of all YouTube bosses. He's at the top. So if you want to prove that you're right up to the level with him fighting Swarms, isn't exactly gonna be it. Now, just say fight, damn, the main event guy put up 3 weeks before the main event. I understand that. That's why I'm not as like yeah, I'm just here for the jokes, whatever. Unfortunately, this happens in UFC all the time. All right, who's available? Swarms. All right, here we go. They try to get Bryce Hall, but I don't think he can make the weight. So again, this will be one more fight. This is gonna be KSI's homecoming. This is gonna be the pay-per-view of the zone. So I'm hoping the zone push it because like Joshua's fight, his fight's on Sky Sports, so then they're not even gonna be pushing it. So this is gonna be KSI's one more fight. Knock off the ring rust, get a knockout highlight. With that said, they will be fighting on 10-ounce gloves. Do you guys think any possibility we see upset?
Upset like Swarms upset like you say
Yeah,
Swarms.
yeah, because they're fighting in 10-ounce gloves and literally a puncher's chance.
Mm.
That'll be like okay. Look, if there is like that's a hypothetical, probably 5% chance if there is an upset, right? Where do you see Misfits boxing in all? Like, where does KSI go if there's an upset? Where does he go after that?
Great question. I think if he loses via points, it'll be a rematch. If he gets knocked out by a quote unquote nobody, because again, I didn't know who he was. I think he'll look very, what. And again, we do comparisons. I know one's YouTube boxing, one actual pro boxing, but this reminded me so much when Anthony Joshua came to Madison Square Garden. His opponent pulled out, and they had to replace with Andy Ruiz Jr. And Ed Hearn got clowned up. He's like, "Why you got this fat Mexican guy fighting Anthony Joshua, who's up here?" At that time, Joshua was untouchable. He was undefeated, etc. So kind of gave me the same thing with this vibes. And again, I know one's pro, one's YouTube. But I'm kind of getting a little bit of vibe. Like nobody gave Ruiz any chance. Nobody. And again, in that fight, he got dropped. Ruiz got dropped, and he dusted himself off. So again, 10-ounce gloves is much different from 16-ounce gloves. But just want to see you guys see any chance of a upset.
I was
Definitely
literally
possible.
about I was literally about to mention that if he lands a punch from the gods, then yeah. If KSI gets overzealous and is piecing him up and he lands a punch from the gods, yes. But if the thing is to knock someone out, you have to have some kind of technique in your punches because even KSI's looping overhand rights had a bit of technique to them. If Swarms has a few weeks, we don't know what he's looking like. And if he's anything like what Nate Robinson was, which is never sparred, he probably did a bit of mitt work, probably did a little bit of strength and conditioning. I don't think he's going to have the technique, and I think he's going to be a deer in headlights, and I think it will end up like similar to Slim versus NNA Productions. I just think Swarms, because he's from the streets and the hood, he'll just have a little bit more bravery in him that he will go at KSI. But I think once he gets touched, in Fuzi's words, once he gets touched like he's never been touched before, he'll back up.
All right, Keem is joined. Keem is going over the Memphis card.
Ryan Taylor, he can't box. He's from the streets. Like, that's how I see this going.
Yeah, all that street talk. You know what? I mean, let's take Jake Paul. When it was announced Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, there was people like, "Oh, Nate Robinson's an athlete. Let's go to YouTuber." Look what happened. Jake Bird's been asking, "Oh, this Ben Askren, he's a champion, not UFC, he's a world champion." Look what happened.
KSI versus Joe Weller. They were saying Joe Weller's an athlete. He's an athlete.
Yeah.
And, yep.
Yeah, boxing is way different than just being an athlete. Like boxing is it's so much different,
Yeah. So all that hood and stuff, like again, he may not be afraid to take a punch, but does he have any skill?
I
Uh,
mean, him being super aggressive or him being from the hood, quote unquote, could mean that he's like starts off as more of the aggressor and he's gonna run into something. It even look like, I mean, if you look at what's his name, Tank versus Rolly, he said Rolly's gonna be anxious and run into a punch, and that's exactly what he did.
yeah. But yo, King, you're here, man. I know, you try to get the Bryce Hall. I don't think it will happen because of weight. But let's talk about the Memphis in a good way, man. This is secretly the Happy Punch takeover. 5 fighters on the Misfits card, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Slim being added in. I think that was a great choice by Misfits. Um, you
I
know,
agree.
that's going to be a good fight. That's just going to be a good fight. Slim is undefeated. He's been begging for a real challenge, a real opportunity. And dude, Faye's temper shut down fucking King Kenny, and King Kenny was supposed to be the god. Dude, when I watched that King Kenny fight, I get the same like Tayler Holder hype. Remember Tayler Holder going in? He was supposed to
Yeah,
destroy Gid.
yeah.
I was one of those people saying it because everybody, the coaches, anyone that I would talk to about Taylor Holder was supposed to be good. Um, and just Gabe got the better of him, and Taylor Holder didn't do shit. And the same thing with Temper. Temper shut Kenny down, so Temper's obviously really good. So now it's up to Slim. All right, if Slim beats Temper, then Slim will actually be high in demand for the first time ever. He will
I know.
actually be a star in this YouTube boxing shit. You know, um, and if he doesn't, then hey, look, you've been begging for this opportunity. You've been begging. I remember when King Kenny and Temper fought, Slim was immediately talking shit about Temper, saying, "Oh, I see in holes. I knew how." He was saying that in here in the Happy Punch
Yep.
live stream. He
Trust.
was like, "I
Mm-hmm.
can beat Temper." Um, so there's a lot of pressure on that to see how that goes.
Speaking of
Um,
which, Slim is live right now. I'm about to everybody tweet at Slim's like, yo, join the Hey Punch Trust Space. We're talking about your fight. So Slim is active
he's live on
to
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, he just said because Temper and Slim they going back and forth with the chatter, and Slim just tweeted something like 2 minutes ago. So he's active.
Interesting. I'm gonna just run up in his room and be like, "Yo, come to our room."
Yeah, he just tweet at Temper. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for Temper versus Blueface. Um, so yeah. But Minicom, man, to speak about you, man. Like you talk about how much weight you've lost. You're getting back in shape. Do you have a fight lined up, or are you trying to look for opponent?
We so basically, I mean, I can talk about it now, but like first, like I was training for, I was supposed to, they were talking about me fighting Ocho Cinco in Dubai. Then after that,
Oh shit.
I was training for what's his name, Bouncer, and I was gonna fight Bouncer. So then, now I literally just got word today, somebody else. So I mean, I can't say that, but we gonna just see. So basically, the biggest problem was heavyweight. It would be it was just hard finding a heavyweight that wanted to fight me, basically. So it's like, um, I was talking to my people and they were saying like cruiserweight would be easier to find people, but right now it's like I'm gonna stay around like 210 and until like a fight comes up that's like guaranteed and set in stone.
Yeah, because cruiserweight right now is just more fights available. But once the Sam High fight, you know, and again, people may
Them
know
High
from
didn't want to fight
Thompson.
me either.
Yeah, yeah. So like it's we still need some more heavyweights involved. So I think by this time next year we might get some. Like right now, it's Harley from FML Time, his opponent, and then Thompson and Sam High. So that's just four. And hello him. I believe
Yeah,
he's the heavyweight. Yeah, so that's 5 people. So
but
it's
I'm
not that deep.
fighting. If I stay heavyweight, I'm definitely fighting the winner, like 100% fighting the winner of Hyde versus Thompson.
All right, there you go.
That's a pretty good shout, to be honest. And obviously, as
Yeah.
well, see, Sam Hyde is your height as well, and Thompson, I think, is 6'5". So
No,
that'll be a good show.
Thompson like 6'2".
Yo, so Dean the Great sends me a message on IG today, and he's like, he came into like, I don't know, get his testing for the fight or something. He was in some type of office for the fight, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he goes, "Look who's behind me," and it was Thompson. And Thompson is huge, like he's massive because Dean's like a little guy. And Thompson's standing behind Dean. And he's just fucking massive. And I don't know if anyone's seen Sam Hyde before, but the same thing with him. Sam Hyde is a fucking massive human being. Like that fight is so fucking exciting to see two big
Yeah,
guys
they're
like that.
humongous.
Like you got to think about it. The only heavyweight, like real heavyweight, I'm talking big guys in social media boxing that we've ever seen, is the mini con fight, but not really because you're big, but your opponent not really. He doesn't have the height. And then Harley from Epic Mealtime, but again, his opponent didn't have the height, right? These two are giants. Like this is gonna be sick.
Absolutely, man.
Isn't he?
I'm hyped.
Yeah, and I know Thompson's been taking it pretty serious, so that's gonna be a funny show. I've been talking to Thompson like every day, really, because that's my boy. But I'm excited to see them both get in the ring.
Who you having that fight, Manny? Thompson, Sam Hyde.
I just gotta see it. I really, bro, because look, when Sam puts out footage, you don't know if he's serious or not, but he does look like he has like some boxing experience, and then like a little bit of boxing experience, and then Thompson, like I'm saying, Thompson's been going hard, and I just haven't seen him in the ring. I'm supposed to fly out there and spar him in LA pretty soon, but yeah, we'll just see.
If Sam is anything like Harley, I think Sam takes it by absolute obliteration.
But don't, yeah, I know Thompson's and like you said, like Thompson's big, like Thompson's a big dude. So it's just like don't count him out. I'm just excited, and I know his conditioning is up like high right now because like he lost a lot of weight compared to what he used to be.
Well, one of these guys is getting knocked out cold. I mean, they're just too big. They're
Yeah,
too big. They're too strong. One of these guys is getting knocked out. And
10 ounce
I
gloves.
don't think it's going to be my guy. I don't think it's going to be Sam Hyde.
we gonna have to see. We gonna have to see. Bro, I really want to see that fight. I might just fly out to LA like in a few days and just see what Thompson's talking about.
Yeah, because that's coming up in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know he said
So
that he wanted to spar me before his fight.
yeah, because Dean said they're flying out next Saturday.
Yeah. Speaking about the Happy Punch takeover, though, look, first of all, we got founder Fuzi fighting Deji. We got Sam Hyde, member of Happy Punch and part owner, fighting Thompson. We have Dean the Great fighting Evil Hero, and Dean the Great is obviously in Happy Punch. We have Sensei fighting King Kenny. Sensei's in Happy Punch. And we have Salt Poppy fighting Andy Worski, and Salt Poppy's also in Happy Punch. But also, I'm commentating, and I'm obviously part of Happy Punch. And we have Gideon commentating as well, doing some mic work, who is also part of Happy Punch. So, yeah, this event is like 50% Happy Punch. It's dope.
I see y'all doing y'all's thing. Wait, why
l- l-
nobody's talking about the Salt Poppy fight? What do y'all think about that Salt Poppy fight?
yeah, let's talk about it. And he's talking spicy. He said he's gonna bring a party bag for South Poppy.
He's
I'm
in
actually surprised with the drama that comes with this fight because obviously we know Sol Pappy's that mysterious character, and Andy, I didn't really think like a lot of people like I spoke to people in work, and a lot of people in the UK are actually rooting for Andy. I'm like, what? Like Sol Pappy is the Brit. I don't know. I didn't even think people even knew who he was in the UK, but nah, like there's been some proper fucking beef between these two, and it's like this could be a fucking good fight. He's going to be better than Halal Ham, but Salt Pappy, we could see his first knockout, in my opinion.
Well, Salt Poppy has skills, right? And he's an entertainer, and he was one of the people that I wanted to sign to Happy Punch so bad. Like, I'm like, this guy has to be a part of our team. Once me and Fuzi agreed to bring on more boxers, and so I was ready and willing to do anything. And I'm like, Salt Poppy, I want you in Happy Punch. He's like, okay. So that's pretty much how that went.
That's brilliant. Made a great choice there because Soul
I
Pappy, everyone's saying he's a future star. So I want to see it.
Absolutely. And so I go to Salt Poppy. I go, listen, Salt. I go, who exactly do you want to fight? And this is on text message back and forth between me and Salt Poppy. Like, who do you want to fight? Because I'm going to make sure that you get like a nice fight. So he sent me back a list of people that he was interested in fighting. And when I tell you that it was every single influencer boxer, it was every single influencer boxer. He sent me a list of every single person. He's like, I'll fight anyone. But instead of saying I'll fight anyone, he literally put the name KSI, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Faye Sensei. Like, he put every single influencer boxer's name in the text message. Like, that kid is sick.
He wants to smoke. He wants to smoke with everybody.
And then when it came down to finding him a fight, impossible. Nobody would fight him. Nobody would fight him. If I told you some of the people that said no to him, you'd be shocked. So here's the thing. He's fighting Andy Worski. Andy Worski doesn't really have that much experience, but the background story with Andy Worski is in his little community, he has been challenged to multiple fights. So he'll go to the gym, he'll train, and his opponent backs out. This happened twice. Over the course of 3 years, he was supposed to, box or MMA, different people in his community that he was beefing with, and his opponent never showed up. So he's been in the gym for 3 years and hasn't been able to like have a fight. So this is very important to them, and he does not have the skill of Salt Poppy at all. And I think what we're dealing with in this fight is skill versus strength, because
Yeah.
Andy Worski has some insane strength that just doesn't even match his body type or whatnot. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Andy Worski does have knockout power.
Yeah, definitely. And as well, Soul Pappy has cut a lot of weight for this fight. Like he went from being like a little bit overweight, around hand size, to being muscular as fuck. And I know obviously muscle doesn't mean everything. I mean, just look at the arms fight left on a stretcher. But like, and he won. Nah, you should have got that win when he gone.
Yeah,
But
but think about this. Think about how
yeah.
fast Salt Poppy was when he was a
Oh.
doughboy, when he was fat, right? Imagine how fast he is now. He's gonna be
In the
quick.
words of
He's gonna
Tyson
be
Fury, he
insane.
was very fast for a man of his size.
I agree. I think his hand speed is severely underrated, and the kind of combos he puts together in those fights, and his shadow boxing looks elite. So I can imagine how he blitzes Andy Worski.
Yeah,
Me,
because he's
me
been
and
working
Andy,
ever since the fight too. And it
me,
was so funny because one day, like, Poppy, like, he hit me up on Snapchat. He's like, have you been training? You look like you've been gaining weight, bro. I was like, ever since he hit me up with that, I've literally been in the gym ever since because he was like, yeah, I haven't taken a break.
me and Andy Worski are pretty cool. But every time I talk to him, I'm like, yeah, Salt Poppy's gonna knock you out, bro.
No cap.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Andy sees that. He sees it from everybody. And again, this is just a good compare fight. But after a while, it gets personal. He's like, hold up now. I'm in the gym. I'm with my trainer. So that's why now he's like, no, forget all this. At first it was fun, but he wants to, shut a lot of people up and prove them wrong.
Good on him. Good on him. You know what's crazy? You got guys like Salt Poppy and you got guys like Andy Worski that are talking about their fight nonstop. And then you got guys like Deji, all right, who is saying nothing on social media. You got guys like fucking Alex Wasabi, all right, that's saying absolutely nothing on Twitter, nothing on YouTube until he drops out of the fight. Then he wants to tweet. Like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, I want to grab a fucking meeting with every single influencer boxer and sit them down and be like, hey guys, I just so you understand, you're getting an opportunity to box another person and get all this clout and get paid well because you're an entertainer. Like, you're not actually a real fucking boxer. Like, you're getting this opportunity because you're an entertainer. So when you get ready for your fight, you still got to entertain. Like you got to
Agreed.
post on social media. Like you got to be an entertainer. You got to be a Jake Paul. You got to be a KSI. You can't just train, be like, oh, well, I'm not going to go on YouTube. I'm not going to go on Twitter. I'm not going to go on Instagram today because I'm in the gym and I'm working for my. You're not a pro boxer. You're an influencer boxer. They're two different things. And dude, people, these organizations that are putting on these events, they need to stop putting people on the card that aren't going to promote their fight. Like it's so frustrating to me. Like you understand like every single gym in this country is packed full of kids because of this influencer boxing shit. Like everybody wants to be a fucking boxer right now, and these influencers that are getting the opportunities to do this are dropping the fucking ball. They're not fucking hyping up their own fights. It's insane.
Agreed.
I
This whole
agreed, man.
sorry,
Agreed.
like this whole scene got me away from like so much depression I was going through. It made me want to fucking train, and eventually I want to fight myself one day. But when you look up to these YouTubers who and influencers in general who started off and like this, it was all for the fans, and then as it goes on, people want money and like they stop getting interested, and like their motivations become a bit corrupt. And then it's I can't explain it because it's a whole fucking can of worms. But
Dude, Faye Sensei, our guys, everybody in Happy Punch is talking about their fights, promoting their fights. He's fighting King Kenny, right? King Kenny hasn't uploaded a video since I don't know when, hasn't tweeted since July. It's like,
Damn.
what is going on? What is happening? Aren't y'all like getting ready for a boxing match? Like, I understand people don't want to fucking say too much online in case they lose. They don't want like to be a meme, but like you're supposed to say you're gonna win. You're supposed to say that. You're supposed to go out and say I'm gonna fucking win. Or why take the fight? Why take the fight? It's supposed to be all risk, little reward. It's or big reward. But it's supposed to be a risky thing. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it entertaining. And everyone
Agreed.
like Deji in that face off where he's like, "Oh, best of luck, Fuzi." Like, what the fuck? What is happening? What the fuck is happening? His fans want to back him up, and they're like, "Oh, well, he took 3 L's, and he just doesn't want to over talk it, and then in case he takes another L." I don't fucking care. Sell your goddamn fight. Like I want to believe that Deji has a chance. I don't want to sit here and say, "Oh, well, Deji's going to lose again." I want to be excited about this. And it's your job as an entertainer to fucking entertain and hype this fucking shit up.
I
Agreed.
agree with Keeb. Like, my favorite
Hold a
YouTube
second.
fighters.
Ray, hold on a second. Another guest has joined. Chase, who is fighting on the Social Gloves card. Chase, what's going on, man? I saw yesterday you and Holder has been getting into it.
Yeah, he told Tayler Holder the fuck off, bro. That people are talking about that behind the scenes, just so you know, Chase.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. I just got done filming. Yeah, basically, the social gloves. I agree a lot with what Keems is saying. Keems is saying, like, I feel like a lot of these social media influencers, they do a really shitty job promoting their fight. Obviously, I've taken notes straight out of Jake Paul's book himself, promoting the hell out of my fight, especially, being the battle of reality TV stars. But to touch on the whole Tayler Holder thing, like, honestly, I think the guy's like he's a joke sometimes. Most of the time, him and I used to be like really close friends, and obviously we had a fallout over Charlie Jordan. I think that the whole situation is just like it's scary to me. The fact that he texts my coach and not me directly when he has my phone number. I say drop the location, drop the pin, drop the address, and he's not responding to anything I'm sending him. He's not answering my FaceTime calls. He continues to text coach staff and say all of this and that. And coach staff is calling me on the phone saying like, he's really upset about, how I went about, posting the screenshots and my caption. But the truth of the matter is like, dog, like, I am not one of these girls. I'm not anybody that you can put, these hands on. And like, you didn't send me the cease and desist. And, I got a call from, a few other people that, are completely in my corner about it. And my thing about it is he wants to fight at his house on his terms with his security guards and his cameras and all of that. And I'm like, dog, like there's a million people in this world that want to see your ass get beat. Like I'm not the type that's going to let you dictate like who's going to see this and who's not. You know what I mean? So.
See, the thing is I talked to Tayler Holder recently because he had an opportunity to fight someone. I won't say any more details than that. Um, and he pretty much just declined it because he's like promoting his music. He's trying to be a country music star.
That's terrible. It's a terrible concept.
Yeah. Well, I can understand why Mr. Holder is trying to separate himself from the known community that knows him now and moving into a different sector. It makes sense.
Dog, it makes sense, but like the problem that I'm having, Keem, is like, how are you gonna? You have my direct line, you have my phone number. Like somebody on my close friends, that he knows screen recorded my close friend story on my Instagram, sent it to him so he could see like my sparring clips, like, and like I don't even know why he posted it because it was actually a pretty damn good clip of my right hook, and I think that he posts that. And somewhere in Tayler Holder land, he believes that he's the best at everything that he does. And the truth of the matter is like, one, I think his music is terrible. Two, like I think his attitude is even worse. Three, like he runs from like Bryce Hall offered to fight him, he said no. He had another fighter that offered to fight him. He says no. He wants all this money, knowing that people are never going to agree to this amount of money. And like for some reason in his head, he thinks like he's Conor McGregor or somebody because like I'm a 250 pound, whatever it is, athlete, and he fought at 165 and lost to Gibb, mind you. And I think that for him to go around and promote music when he hasn't redeemed his fighting career, he hasn't redeemed his social media career, he hasn't redeemed any part of his aspect, and now he's going online and starting all of this beef, and honestly, like he's starting with the wrong person because where I'm from, dog, like I'm not worried about any of that other nonsense. Like send the location, send the pin, anytime, any place. So that's my take on it.
Well, here's my thing with Tayler Holder, right? Or anyone, any influencer. This is not really about Tayler Holder. This is about any influencer, right? If you're in negotiations to set up a boxing match and you're asking for big money and your likes are hidden on Instagram, we have a fucking problem. We have a fucking problem. We got a
or if you have
fucking
20
problem.
million followers and get 200,000 views on TikTok, we have a
Like
problem.
we got a why are the likes hidden, bro? We need to gauge engagement. How am I going to put you on a pay-per-view and pay you big money if I'm not going to get no return? Like your job is to sell fucking pay-per-view tickets, and that's my problem with a lot of what's going on in social media boxing right now is that none of these guys, if it's not for like Drama Alert hyping it up or Wade or Happy Punch or any of these outlets that cover social media boxing, there's no fucking promotion. Bro,
Yeah.
it's dude, I yell every single day at Alex and I see him in here. I'm like, Alex, dude, stop covering fucking Jake Paul, but it's not Alex's fault because Jake Paul's going out every day and making news. He's making news every day. Why are we not seeing that from anyone else? It's almost like they forgot how they were raised on the internet. Clickbait, thumbnails, fucking views, just like all this shit that you're raised with as a content creator, as an entertainer online somehow disappears. It's a one-track brain when they decide to do boxing. Oh, I'm just going to live in the gym. All right, well, you're going to live in the gym, you're going to get one win, and then what? Then that's all you do.
They're not even getting a. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, they're not even getting a win. Most of these influencer boxers who claim that they're fighters now have lost most of their first match. If you look at guys that did a great job promoting, like I give loads of credit to Bryce. Like yes, Bryce lost his fight, but I think Bryce did a good job and continues to do a good job of he continues to call people out.
Absolutely. Chase,
Bryce is a prime example of this.
Bryce Hall is on the level of Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and KSI. He is literally on that level. When I look at top tier like influencer boxing, I put those four in a category and everyone else is beneath because those four promote their fights. They make news, they talk shit, they fucking hype it up. They make this shit entertaining. Dude, we're not conducting these big influencer boxing events in front of a pro fighting fan base. We're conducting them in front of the YouTube fan base, in front of the TikTok fan base, in front of an entertainment fan base. Like it
That's
just doesn't work. You can't just be like selling tickets based on skill alone. You have to entertain.
Exactly. And I think that that's the problem is a lot of these guys, they start training for these fights and they start training with these pro fighters. And in their head, they're like, well, I'm getting paid for this event. I'm now a pro fighter. I'm no longer an influencer. I don't need to promote this. But you look at guys like even Conor McGregor, who is a pro fighter, does a great job promoting things. And I think that you got guys like Tayler Holder that doesn't answer direct questions on any podcast, ducks every fight, talks loads amount of shit, just the people that know him, and he won't take any fight unless you're paying him $500,000. Like you haven't even sold one pay-per-view fight and you want $500,000 to fight? Get out of here.
Yeah, I think contracts need to be completely different in the future. Like, I think they just need to be like way more strict, and like you have to be active on social media. We got fighters in the August 27th event that like haven't tweeted for 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening?
Hey, you got the better of me, and like I'm very open about what I got going on with McBroom. Like I think I'm one of the more underpaid fighters on the card, but it wasn't about that for me. Is like when he gave me the contract, I didn't ask who I was fighting, I didn't ask how much I was getting paid. I just said yes because I was going to take it, and I was going to no matter who the fighter was, and I was going to blow it as much up as I could because I know one opportunity leads to the next. I know my role, and like on my card, obviously it got postponed. So I opened up to like, okay, like this fight's postponed. I'll take any fight now with any person, and I'm going to promote it the exact same, which is why I have continuous tweets at Corey on social gloves. I have continuous TikToks. I posted, his girlfriend in my DMs. I've taken it to like the most levels of extreme. And some people say like, oh, you're reckless, you're crazy. And it's not that at all. It's like when my fight rolls around, I want people to click on that pay-per-view and be like, oh shit, here's the Chase and Corey fight that Chase has been hyping up, for 2 months now. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's just at the end of the day, influencer boxers are. It's not going to be boxing. It's just not going to be boxing. You know, iDubbbz, he ran a great event, loved it. I thought those guys crushed. All right, but iDubbbz wouldn't be headlining any pro boxing event ever. Like he just won it. He just won it.
And
He's
here's the
headlining
thing.
the event because he's an entertainer, because he has millions of fans. Like that is why. So you must entertain.
And here's the thing. As successful that was, it will sell more pay-per-view buys if people promote more. I mean,
Correct.
they did 100K. Like there was people who that week didn't know about the event. Like if everybody on that card and promote more, it could have hit
Yeah,
Like
and
think,
200K.
yeah, think
it re-
about like the Blueface and Kane card. Like nobody even knew that fight even happened until it was over.
dude, they hired us. Me and Fuzi were like the only ones talking about it. The only ones on social media talking about it. Me and Fuzi got hired like I want to say like maybe 2 weeks before the event, and we had to go hype it up. Fuzi went and interviewed everybody that was on that card, but the card wasn't all influencer boxing. It was like half bare knuckle boxing, and then just like a few influencer. Excuse me, it was half bare knuckle boxing and then a few influencer boxing fights. But the people that they had, the only name that they had was Blueface. That was it. Like everyone else was like kind of unknown and had maybe like a YouTube channel with a couple thousand followers or something.
Yeah, that's the first part with the influencer boxers too. Is like why not reach out to people, have like a standard, have it like a regular deliverables, like any other brand deal. When you give them a contract, like, hey, you want to make 100K on this fight? Okay, I need at least 2-3 social media posts a month, a week, a day, like whatever it is that they want to do, and then go find people that have like at least have 1 million on TikTok, at least have 1 million on Instagram, have some sort of platform fan base to speak on. Otherwise, you're just having like these big influencers get overpaid to basically underperform on all aspects.
And I know that there's starting to be like real fighting fans like that are entering into this community, and they're starting to get into like influencer boxing stuff, and they find it entertaining or whatever, that might disagree with me. But I want like those people that are listening right now to understand where I come from. I come from a place where like you make a diss track a week before the fight, and you say that you're going to knock that person out, and you fucking talk shit about their mother, whatever. I come from a place, the birth of influencer boxing, where this shit was the most entertaining thing in the world. And now what I'm seeing today, not so much. Like it's like night and fucking day. And like I'm thinking about the Social Gloves event, right? The first one. Austin McBroom didn't do anything, didn't say anything. The second one, he's not doing anything. He's not saying anything. Like,
Yeah.
we're getting an update on Gibbs' injury. That's the most Austin's talked about his fight coming up. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
like and like the touch on the Austin thing is like, yeah, like I have a decent relationship with Austin, but I'm on the card, and sometimes Austin will send me the same message twice because I know he's sending these text messages out in like mass format. And like I had reached out to him and I told him, I was like, hey, like if Gib can't pass, like I have another guy that has a good following that you can fight too. And it's like I don't really get a response. It's very robotic. And I think that, it's very like last minute, very scrambled. And that's the problem I'm having with, the Social Gloves fight is like, yes, I'm excited for the fight. But, at first, he reaches out to me and he goes, hey, can you, drop, 30 pounds to fight, in basically a month. And then we get to the month mark and he's like, oh, by the way, we might not be able to do it here because we have an announcement on Friday saying like, now we're switching the stadium. It's getting postponed till September 10th, all this and that. And it's just like, even the fighters on the card, we don't have enough information to really base on, what's going on. I even reached out to Fuzi and I asked Fuzi, I was like, do you think that I sent Fuzi a copy of my contract, I believe. I was like, do you think that, Austin could cancel this fight, after, we have already invested in our trainers, we've invested into, the camera crews, et cetera, et cetera. And he goes, well, technically, yes, he could. I don't think that he would do that, but it's still a possibility. If this doesn't sell pay-per-view, I don't see like how it could have a profit margin for anybody.
Chase, I literally said on Drama Alert, like 1 week after this was announced, that the event was going to get canceled. And my reasoning why it was going to get canceled was because they didn't sell any tickets. Bro, Austin and Social Gloves has investors, all right? Those investors are renting, the crypto arena or whatever, right? The Staples Center, basically, right? They're renting that giant stadium. Like, dude, there's all these expenses. You got security. Dude, there's so much money on the line, and the tickets aren't selling to fill the arena at all. If you pulled it up and looked at it, it was a sea of open seats. It's like, there's no way. There is no fucking way that this event is going to go through. Plus, it's in LA, so I have no idea when it would start. But the majority of pay-per-view buys are definitely coming from Gibbs' side, and that's in the UK. So you think about it. If this shit runs at like, I don't know, even 7 p.m., even 7 p.m. in LA time, that's way too late for fucking UK. Kids are not going to stay up that late. Like, none of it made any fucking sense whatsoever. And this was such common sense, like common sense business sense that like anyone, like a fucking 10th grader could figure out. None of it made sense as far as a vital business.
Well, yeah, so like that's the thing too, and they just recently switched the stadium. I think we're fighting at Bank C now, but like regardless, that's a bigger stadium, and it's just like here's the thing about how in social media fans and things they look at views, they look at ticket sales, they look at how many people are at the event. It doesn't matter about yes, the pay-per-view matters, but it's like okay, Gibb is selling all the pay-per-view. The fight's in the UK. Why not switch the fight? Let's fight in the morning so that the UK people can watch it. If that's where the hype's coming from, like give the audience where the hype's coming from, so that the event can make money essentially. Because nobody's promoting. I haven't seen a single Austin McBroom promotion outside of his story. I haven't seen a single promotion from anybody other than the camera crew that is running it for Social Gloves, and that's the issue I'm having. Is like don't have people fight on this card that aren't going to promote the card. That's plain and simple.
Guys, the
Austin,
problem is y'all have a bunch of managers who really don't know boxing. And when that comes into play, they're not actually looking at the logistics of what time, what place. Like you said before, the problem with the weight classes and things like that. You got a bunch of guys who have never really fought before and don't have the experience to say, well, this is who we need to fight and this is what we need to do in order to make it happen. It's a bunch of people running, a business that have no idea how to run the business.
yeah, well, a lot of egos are at play, right? We're not dealing with like the ego of the athlete. We're dealing with the ego of the influencer, which is just on a whole nother fucking level. So that's that's the problem. People in our space think they're God.
I agree. As an influencer and as a professional boxer, you have to wear two hats. And the thing is, KSI, Jake Paul, they've been in the ring before, but you're talking about a bunch of guys who've never even been in the ring. So their ego and their like you said, it's a bunch of egos that have to be fed, and it can't be fed because the ring and the boxing business is completely different.
But I mean, a lot of people are scared to, because I mean, even with my fight and promotion and shit like that, like I was calling Joestar on the phone trying to tell him trying to tell him to tell Arms to say something. They're like, oh, he's gonna try to say something tomorrow. He's gonna set up this. When you show up to the UK, he's gonna be at the airport. Y'all are gonna get into it. Blah, blah. Like they're saying all this shit, but then the opponent was silent like the whole time. But it's just a lot of times people are trying to be quiet just in case of what if I do lose? I don't want people to like fucking, I don't know,
Yeah, they're,
harass
they're
me. And all this
scared to
shit.
get like Bryce Hall. I'm not a real fighter, but like that's
It's
scary to
part
me.
of the
Like, God,
game.
don't be scared. That's the name of the game. You're
Yeah,
gonna talk your shit, you win or you lose.
is Bryce Hall's career over because he looked like a fool after? No, it's not.
No.
Is Logan Paul's career over because he lost to KSI after?
Anis
No, it's
Gibbs'
not.
career isn't over.
It's
Anita
literally, that's part of the game. You're supposed to talk
to
shit.
Jake.
Tayler Holder's career is over, as far as I'm concerned.
His career
The
is
worst
Deji,
part of it all is that even Social Gloves refused to promote Gibb, because I've been following Social Gloves and they would post everyone else's training footage, everyone else's promo, and share it on their story. And Gibb would promote, and crickets from Social Gloves.
dude, Deji has no reason not to talk shit. Deji has proven he can lose 3 times in a row and still sell tickets. Like, why are you not fucking speaking on YouTube, on Twitter? It makes no sense. You've already proven that you can still sell tickets. They're still going to buy. They're still going to support you. So talk about your fucking fight.
That's
You're
what I'm
not
saying.
going to look
And
like a fool.
it's
You
not like you
can't
have
look like
anything
a
to
fool.
lose. Yeah, that's the thing, is like you don't have anything to lose either, because you're not a fighter. Like that's the thing that they seem to forget, is like they think that, oh, if I take a loss here, then my whole career is over, and that's not the case at all. Bryce Hall had arguably one of the most embarrassing losses of my life. But you see, like, KSI, he could save the KSI event. He could save all of this because he's Bryce Hall. He knows how to sell tickets. He knows how to get views. He knows how to get numbers.
But
Yeah, well,
that's
at the
what
end of the
happens when you
day,
have a bunch of people
Bryce
who don't.
Hall Bryce Hall understands that he's an entertainer, that this is clout, and like he gets it, right? These other guys are like, I'm a boxer. I'm a boxer. No, you're fucking not. No, you're not. You're not a boxer. You're an influencer boxer. These are two different things. You can't forget that you're an entertainer. You're getting this opportunity because you're a fucking entertainer. That is the only reason you're getting this opportunity. So you got to keep entertaining.
I
Well,
1,000% agree with you. I'm right there on board, and I think that, like, it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Is like it needs to be like any other uh brand deal. There needs to be required deliverables, required posts. There needs to be like a mandated number of ticket sales, and they need to give people more than 2 or 3 weeks to sell a fight. Like, all of these things I think are really important. And when you have bad managers, bad management, bad attitudes, and egos that all mix in and start, you have guys saying that they're actual fighters and they want to fight people that are 100 pounds heavier than them. Then you start having, like, these shitty fighting events, like Social Gloves. Like, shout out to them for giving me the opportunity to come fight. But like, we were supposed to fight last weekend, Keem. Like, I'm still in camp now for another 4 weeks. So
Chase, if you would have fought, you probably never would have got paid. All right, let's run through this. One, ticket sales, not selling. All right, no one's buying the pay per view because most of the people buying the pay per view are Gibb fans. Gibb lives in the UK. The majority of his fan base is in the UK. The event is in LA, running at like 7 p.m. That's like 4 in the morning or some shit back in the UK. So
Yeah,
Gibbs
nobody's
fans
going to
aren't
be
buying the
watching
pay per
that
view.
show.
You're not getting paid, Chase.
so why does he not switch it to the UK? Like, that just seems like a no-brainer. Go fight in London.
He was originally going to, that was the original plan for Showstar. However, Austin didn't want to do it on Gibbs' terms. He wanted to have full control. Gibb even said,
That's idiotic to me. Like, that's just not smart.
Yeah, he owns, like, dude, Austin, you own Social Gloves. Your responsibility is not to make you feel happy and comfortable. Your responsibility is to make sure Social Gloves is successful. That's your job.
too
And so
many
you got to
chefs in the
set your
kitchen.
company up in the best position to sell as most pay-per-views as possible. And they're just not doing that here.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it also goes back to, like, knowing, like, who you're putting on your card. If you're going to put guys on your card that are not going to promote it, then what was the point of having guys on your card? Like, look at the first Social Gloves event. You had, obviously Taylor was on there, and Bryce. and Gibb and like all these people that have like these huge followings. But then you look back to like, okay, now who's really promoting this fight? It did well because of the names that were in it, but think about how much better it could have done, and think about who would have actually gotten paid on time had these people been promoting this fight.
I
Chase,
found out about that fight because Fuzi went around and was getting punched in the stomach by them. That's how I found out about
Chase,
Social Gloves 1.
the most amazing thing about Social Gloves 1, right, is that not only was the best like influencer boxing match to watch, like the entertainment level was amazing, but it was also the absolute most viewed. All right, during that Social Gloves 1, every single fight, one of those fighters trended on Twitter. All right, millions and millions and millions of people were watching it live. And I know you're saying, well, didn't they only sell 140,000 pay-per-views? Yeah, they only sold 140,000 pay-per-views because they were charging like $60. So everybody pirated it. Dude, when I went, I was commentating. I was a commentator at that event, right? I was announcing. As I go on TikTok during these fights and I'm scrolling, every single live stream on TikTok is illegally broadcasting the fight. And each one of these streams has 20,000, 80,000. I saw one with 140,000 people watching live, illegally pirated on TikTok fucking live streams. Dude, there was no team in place to shut any of this shit down. It was just uncontrollable.
Yeah, and that's another problem is like you can't dictate that kind of stuff, and like I don't know what regulations you can do other than make the fight cheaper. You have a cheaper fight and you double the sales. What I mean? Like it seems to make more sense to me, but that just might be my opinion on it. So
I think the problem is they're acting like they're actually real boxers who can sell, pay per view tickets, and that's not the issue. Like Keemstar said, make it cheaper, and have people in place where they're shutting down these sites or they're flagging the sites. But like you said, these guys are not real boxers. They're coming from their respective platforms and coming into this boxing world thinking that they're world champions and things like that on a very big stage compared or relative to, what we do.
Motion, I was about to say you can talk about council events. Your nephew, Steve Rahman Jr., is supposed to fight Jake Paul. Last time we spoke, he was hyping up the event. What happened?
It's like you said, look, like they've been talking about. It's just a lot of logistics and a lot of things come into play. It's not just two people wanting to fight. It's managers. It's promoters. It's the fighters, and when people, there are so many chefs in a pot. You have I'm not doing this, so we can't have the fight, or I'm not going to do this, so we can't have the fight.
You know
Um,
what needs to be mandatory? All right. You announce your opponent, but then you also announce your backup at the same time. Right. And then
exactly,
you
I
just
agree.
talk shit nonstop. Like, I know you're backing out. You're going to back out of this fight. I know you're backing out. I know you're backing out. I know you're backing out. But because there isn't that pressure, motherfuckers back out.
the thing is, Keemstar, is these guys, they're influencers. They know how to act. They know how to sell a fight. They have videographers. They have these people who can say, "Oh, I'm going to just talk a bunch of shit until the fight." But then when it actually happens, the pressure is on, and you know, nobody's going to say, "I'm gonna back out of the fight." So why would there be a mandatory substitution or subbing for them.
No,
You know,
because they're gonna find reasons to back out of the fight.
yeah,
That's
and
what it
but that
comes down
doesn't
to.
even happen in boxing. There's no, people get people there. Even in boxing, people get late calls all the time. Hey, can you come and fight this guy? On a week notice or 2 week notice. That is the sport of boxing. Like I said, I do think there's a difference between having that fighter mentality where it does not matter who the opponent is. I'm just going to fight because I want to fight. These influencers have a choice to not fight. They're not going to not be able to pay their bills if they don't fight. So they have a better choice of saying, you know what, I'm just not going to fight. It's not going to hurt my. It's not going to hurt my money. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt my livelihood. Whereas for us boxers, it'll hurt everything if we don't fight. So
Right. No, I hear that 100%. I got to say this, though. Don't you guys find it a little strange that the whole internet knows that Alex Wasabi is injured and that he's potentially pulling out of the fight before Alex Wasabi says anything, that the whole internet knew that Alex Wasabi was in fact pulling out of the fight before Alex Wasabi told anyone. We
He
still haven't
when
really seen
that's what
Alex Wasabi's face. He makes one little Instagram post. He comes out with a couple tweets. Of course, after he's out of the fight, when he was in the fight, nothing. He's not promoting his fight at all, right? It's like we still haven't seen this dude's face. I'm sorry, but I feel like everybody has a right to run with the conspiracy theories that somehow Jake Paul has messed up this KSI event and tampered with it in some way. I feel like you have a right to have a conspiracy theory because it's just so strange and weird that we haven't seen Alex Wasabi's actual face. Who has seen his face? Who has heard him talking, explaining what happened? No one.
That's
A
that's
thousand percent
understandable.
agree with Keem there. I've been saying this. Alex has a power in his hands to eliminate any kind of skepticism around his whole injury. All he has to do is release a doctor's note, release a CT scan, release an X-ray, and say, "Guys, this is the reason I'm pulling out." Because if he is indeed an honest guy and there's nothing to hide, I don't see any part of their legal agreement or contract saying, "Oh, if you get injured, you can't release a CT scan that belongs to you about your own health and well-being." Like, it's so easy to eliminate all the skepticism and all the conspiracy theories around you, and you refuse
Tommy
to do
Fury
it.
did. Tommy Fury did. Remember when he got hurt the first time when he was supposed to fight Jake Paul? He said, I got injured. He came out with a video. He showed his face. He wasn't a fucking coward. He actually showed his face to the internet. He said, I got hurt. And then he showed proof that he got hurt. He had a broken rib or something. I can't even remember at this point. Right. But like, dude, where the fuck is Alex Wasabi? Like, there should be an outrage in the community that this dude is just nowhere to be found. This is fucked up, bro.
And
I
he
think
has
there's
to
no outrage because there's no real boxing fans. You gotta remember their fans are kids who really don't know anything about boxing. They're like, okay, well, we just want to see our influencer fight. It doesn't matter who he fights. So I think the reason why you're not getting that outcry of where is Wasabi, like you're saying right now, I'm saying the same thing. Where is this dude, Alex Wasabi? For us, we're boxing fans. I'm a professional boxer. I want to see these fights too. But you have a bunch of kids who are not going to advocate for where is this guy. They're not going to. I don't. These kids are not going to hold him accountable.
Dude,
Instead, they're
it's just
feeling sorry for him. They're like, "Oh, how can you attack him? He has a concussion. He has a serious health injury. You shouldn't attack him." And that's what's like causing the divide amongst everyone. Instead of just everyone holding up arms and saying, "Where's the CT scan?" and holding him accountable, people are defending him and being like Jake Paul's trainer commented on KSI's tweet and said, "Oh, big bad KSI attacking someone with an injury. Then prove the injury is legit."
Dude, I want more than proof. I want you to show your face. All right. Like, Alex, I'm sorry. I run fucking drama. Dude, I've covered this story since the very fucking beginning. Alex Wasabi comes out of nowhere. People barely even know him in the mainstream, like YouTube community at the time. And he starts talking shit to JJ. He's like, oh, I can do this YouTube boxing thing, right? So JJ's like, okay, I'll fly you out. We'll spar. We'll spar. He buys Alex Wasabi a flight, and then Alex Wasabi doesn't fucking show up. All right. So then Alex Wasabi starts talking shit to Deji. Deji does the same thing. Buys Alex a flight, and he doesn't come out. This has been going on for fucking years of Alex Wasabi talking shit to both Deji and KSI. And, we see a video of Alex fighting for the first time. He gets knocked out by Fuzi, by the way. And then I guess he tried out for the social gloves thing. He didn't make it. And then he goes and beats up Deji. And it's like, this has been going on for years and years and years of him talking shit to JJ. If he has to fucking pull out because of concussions, we deserve to see a video of him crying or something, like at least sad and depressed that he's missing this opportunity. We have to believe that this shit is real. If not, then I feel like we all have a right because
He's
Alex
scared.
Wasabi, Alex Wasabi was taken under the camp of who? Jake Paul. KSI roasted Jake Paul for his event. being canceled, right? And ending. He roasted Austin McBroom for his event being canceled and ended, right? And so Jake Paul tweets out karma, bitch, right? And all of a sudden, Alex Wasabi is mysteriously injured. All right. And now KSI's event is fucked, right? Like, come on. Like, foul play has to be a part of this.
You
It
got a
has to
point
be.
there. You're making a really good point. I didn't think about that, but you're making a really good point.
Like, dude, everyone was roasting Austin. Everybody was roasting Jake about their events, like, being canceled. And the one thing that I was constantly saying, and everyone was saying, was, well, at least August 27th is happening. At least KSI's event's going to go through. His event's not going to be canceled. And then Jake Paul tweets out karma, bitch. And then we find out right after that. Because I knew before I ever went public, right? I had to wait. I had to cross my T's and dot my I's before I broke that story that Wasabi was out, right? Or injured, right? And that was at the same time that Jake Paul was tweeting that out. So it's like, dude, come on. Like, people are fucking around with each other, people's events. Like, that's, I don't know. I'm fucking losing my mind. I'm so angry about this shit.
Not only that, can I just say as well, like Jake Paul a few months back actually tweeted like check or some shit. I think when Wasabi vs KSI was announced, and then when that got pulled out, he said checkmate. It's like he fucking planned it or some shit. Like that's what the vibe's just giving off. It's just a bit weird.
But you guys got to remember, Jake is a professional troll,
That is
and
true.
regardless of if he did it, if he didn't do it, he knows what to say and when to say it.
That is
It
true.
But
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just like he said, he beat my ass in sparring at the press conference. He knows
my
what
point,
to say when to say it. It doesn't matter if he did it or not. I will say yes, that would be fucked up if he did it because KSI deserves to fight. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, you can't really take into account that. Yeah, he said checkmate on Twitter. He's a troll.
yeah, but I'm not mad at Jake Paul. All right. Jake Paul is at a war with KSI. Like I expect Jake Paul to do this. I'm mad at Alex Wasabi. All right. Alex Wasabi was the one that was fucking flexing his chest at everyone. I'm going to beat Deji. I'm going to beat KSI for years and years and years and years. JJ finally gives this dude a fucking opportunity. He doesn't promote the event at all and fucking pulls out. And if we're going with this conspiracy theory that Jake had a hand in it, then he got paid off, right? So, like, dude, Alex Wasabi should never get another fucking chance again. Or Alex Wasabi can just upload a YouTube video and show us his face and explain what happened, like any other person would do, like anyone else that pulls out of a fucking fight because of an injury.
Keem, you might need to be that person that just trolls him until he comes out with it. I mean, the thing is they're not sanctioned. It's not going to be. It's not a sanctioned fight, so it's not like he's going to have. There's going to be any repercussions to him canceling or him calling out the fight.
If I was KSI, I would never give him an opportunity to fight again. Never,
I
never.
completely agree. I mean, you can see JJ went from literally, I don't know what he was fat, and now he's in shape, he's ripped up. JJ works hard, and now the fight is off. So yeah, I wouldn't give him a chance either.
Dude,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Alex should have uploaded an apology to his fans. Like, sorry guys, I let you down. I got injured. Da da da. Da. This is out of my control. None of that. We didn't hear any of that. You know how fucking strange and weird that is. He's tweeting earlier today, like, I'm just eating candy. Sorry, I was in the gym three times a day, so I didn't get to tweet. Like, bro, what is this, dude? Like, I don't know. It pisses me off because I think foul play was a part of this for sure.
Time will tell.
What do you think, Fight Lounge? Do you think foul play, or do you think he actually got injured?
My man, I'm in middle eating dinner. There's some shady shit going on. There's some shady shit.
It just doesn't make sense. It
Hey,
just doesn't make sense.
what's funny is when Jake said, karma, we thought it was because I see Rahman Jr. weighed in at 206 and not 205, like trying to prove a point. So everybody thought, oh, he's talking about Hasim. And
I
then
thought
Alex
so
was up.
too. I
Yeah,
thought that's why he did that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then boom, the Alex stuff. Now knowing Jake could have been both. Like boom, I made a point. I proved that Hasim couldn't make 205, and I messed up KSI's event on the same day. I don't know.
Oh, it's just frustrating. It's
Speaking
just
of,
I want to get excited about this fucking influencer box thing like I did like back in the day, dude. With Joe Weller versus KSI, the Pauls versus KSI and Deji. Bro, back then those motherfuckers all knew how to promote their fights. They all knew how to gas this up and make this shit exciting. Dude, it's not the same, dude. It's not the same.
I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely exciting when I first met KSI. I started paying attention to who's fighting who and things like that, but it's starting to get like regular boxing. And
Mhm.
I think that's the problem. It's starting to get, this is supposed to be a fun event where, they're bringing new fans into the boxing world, but also, kind of making some light out of the sport. But, when you have all of this drama, it makes people start to run away the same way they're running away from boxing.
Mustin, talk a little bit about the politics. 'Cause I think we're getting closer and closer to politics in boxing. I mean, KSI's with the Zone, Jake right now is with Showtime. A lot of people, I mean, like I said, a lot of these fans aren't boxing fans. Even less know the politics. And Jake, as of right now, hasn't signed a long term deal with Showtime. But tell the people, like, yeah, it's some shit like Showtime and PBC does not fuck with the Zone at all. And I think if Jake signed a long term deal, that could fuck up potentially Jake versus KSI. But people don't hear that, like, what? So if you could like explain the politics behind that.
Well, yeah, politics plays a big part in boxing. It's a reason why you don't see Earl Spence versus Crawford. It's a reason why Crawford left Top Rank. A lot of these promoters do not deal with each other and they won't do business. And it will literally screw up the fighter's opportunity to, gain that legendary status. So when it comes to boxing, man, I always say boxing is a business disguised as a sport. Like you have you the great thing about it, the end of it and the reward is the boxing match. But you'd be surprised that these negotiations are talked about years. When I talk about years, we're talking about litigation, we're talking about bidding wars as far as where the arena is going to be and things like that. It's a lot of things that come into play and people don't really understand that. It's not just the fighters that are, oh, I'm going to fight him and he wants to fight me, so let's fight. That doesn't work like that. I could one of Earl Spence has wanted to fight Crawford for the longest time, and their managers are getting in the way of that. And not to say they might be justified in how they feel and what they want to do, but yeah, politics plays a big part. I could write a tweet right now that could screw me over for the rest of my life. And so you have to watch what you say. You have to, you have to play politics when it comes to boxing because it could really mess up your opportunity to really get on those big cards or have a big card for yourself. You see what's going on with Earl Spence and Crawford. I keep mentioning that because that's the fight everybody wants to see. Even Jake Paul and KSI. We've wanted to see that for what, 3 years now?
Yep.
It's more than just, oh, KSI scared, or it's more than just Jake scared. Like that crap plays a big part. Mams was just in there. He knows. It, I'm pretty sure they've had calls and negotiations and, oh, where do you want to have this fight? Or, well, no, I'm not talking about this. I don't want to talk. That plays a lot. Him and Jake might not ever fight because Mams and Nikisa might not like each other. You never know.
Or if Jake signs long term with Showtime, wouldn't Steven Espinosa supposed to will he be stepping in?
That would be the case too. Steven Espinosa. I don't know the logistics of Steven Espinosa and Sky Sports or Sky Sports and the Zone, but from publicly noted things, the Zone doesn't mess with Showtime.
And
So
Showtime does not fuck with his own.
and Showtime don't fuck with the Zone, so you're not going to see any of those fighters. So it's even harder for the fighter because it's like, who are you going to sign with? Even for me as a cruiserweight champion, I'm sorry, as a cruiserweight and wanting to be a cruiserweight champion, I have to figure out who to sign with because I know if I sign with, like, let's say I sign with DAZN, I'm never going to be able to fight a person that has a belt in Showtime. Or if I sign with Showtime, I'm never going to be able to probably fight overseas and get that. So I have to figure those things out before I actually sign. It Politics plays a big part in this boxing game, and unfortunately, like we've said before, like Keemstar said, it's starting to water down the fun aspect of watching these YouTubers and these influencers fight, because now they're acting like they're real boxers, and they're getting into the logistics of, well, we're not going to have here, or you got to weigh this much and I got to weigh this much, and all that other bull crap. Like, you're not working for a belt. You guys can fight 3 fights, make $4 million, and leave the sport. Whereas us real boxers, our first fight we make like $1,000. Not even that. Some of us make nothing. I know for me, I made $500 Canadian money when I first started. So it's big tickets, and they don't have to do it.
The mixing of the two is so stupid. They never should have ever should have pushed to mix influencer boxing and real boxing. Like, that's just so
I
silly
completely agree.
and
When I
so
saw the
fucking
box rec,
dumb.
I agree. When I saw that box rec, I was like, how is, like, no offense to KSI or Jake Paul, props to them. They actually, I always give them their respect, because they are the ones who helped me become an influencer. But I'm never going to say I'm an influencer, and bring that influencer part into my professional boxing. No, 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 no. Those two things are separate from each other. But it's yeah, they're now considered professional boxers. KSI has a box rank. He's ranked whatever he is, ranked 2000. I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Dumbest move ever. And then Jake Paul, like, trying to separate himself from like YouTube and putting nothing but real boxers on his card. And like, I understand people are saying, like, look, Jake Paul's doing a lot of good for the fight world. Okay, cool. But when Jake Paul's event, it gets messed up, his fight gets messed up, the event ends. You want to know why? Because there's no influencers. There's no other influencers on the goddamn card, right? He Jake Paul sells to the influencer world. I don't think Jake Paul sells that well to the fight world. I really
Keem,
don't.
it's a catch-22, right? I'm going to play devil's advocate. You have one side where me and you are saying, oh, well, they could have had, they shouldn't have became real boxers. And then on the other hand, you have people discrediting them because they haven't put real boxers on their platform. Because remember, when it first started, they said, well, why aren't real boxers? You guys are taking money from boxing, and you're not putting real fighters who are fighting for their life on there. And so they did that. They tried to conform to putting real boxers on the undercard. And so you can't really say, I don't know, I can't really say, like, oh, you know it's a catch-22, because damned if they do, damned if they do, damned if they don't. You know what I mean?
Because put it this way, things for Jake, two fighters got signed. Montana Love, and I forget the other guy. But because of Jake, those two
Serena
undercard.
Serena got signed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Jake's done amazing things for the fight world.
A
Like,
thousand percent.
100%. However, However, when someone from my space, right, from the entertainment space, including myself, buys a Jake Paul pay per view, I'm not watching the undercard. Like, I don't care about the undercard. I'm sitting there, I'm paying $60, and I'm waiting for one single fight, Jake Paul's fight, because
Right.
that's all I'm interested in. And the same goes for most of the people in this entertainment space, right? They're watching the undercard, but they don't really care about it. When you talk about KSI's event, every single one of those matches is interesting, is exciting. The people that bought iDubbbz's event, the Creator Clash thing, every single one of those matches is exciting and entertaining. It's a different fucking thing.
I also King, welcome to pro boxing. Deontay Wilder, he's coming August 15th. I guarantee you, I'm a boxing fan. I'm only gonna be watching the main event, maybe not the co-main event, and it'll be more than $60. Like it's creeping its way into that. Like boxing again, Muhsin can back me up. Boxing has been like, here, take this, take it, leave it. You want Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis? Nah. Here's Tank Davis versus so and so. Take it or leave it.
Fight Lounge, I agree. It's most people are not there to watch the undercard. Most times, people who are watching undercards are people like me. I want to see the undercard because, of course, I'm a professional boxer. I got to see who's out there. I'm watching it more to study. But like Keem, you guys are watching the main event because that's who you're looking for. You're waiting for the main event. You might even put the card on and might go to the store until the undercard is finished. So it's like you have two sides of okay, there's KSI versus Jake Paul, and then there's the real boxers. And I don't think you're ever going to get a cohesive, fan base.
Balance.
Yeah, a cohesive balance where you have boxing fans and YouTube fans and influencer fans who are really just going to sit there and watch all of these fights. These kids don't care about me. Like, these kids don't care the fact that Muhsin Cason is fighting. The only time they'll care is if they see me that I'm in the influencer world, which I am now. But before, I'm not in the influencer world. So why the heck would they care if I was fighting on the undercard? They wouldn't care. They're going to give that money away. I mean,
Yeah.
they want their refund if a bigger person like KSI gets off the card.
I think the world would be better if they were separate, right? I don't
I
think
agree.
I don't think that the pro boxing world is disrespected by influencer boxing. I think they're only disrespected when the two get mixed and they're seen as the same thing, because they are not. They are just
Hey,
not.
hey, if Jake would have beat Hasim Rahman Jr., he would have been ranked. He would have been a ranked WBC
Which is
fighter.
which is bullshit. Which is bullshit. That is bullshit. How are
One
you
fight. Hasim isn't
one
even
one fight?
Hasim
This
isn't
is
even cruiserweight.
but Fight Lounge. This is what we mean by politics. This is what we mean by politics. I'm ranked number 5 in the country, number 42 in the world. I'm 10-07 KOs. Jake has 5 fights. He's fought nobody, right? And he gets to get ranked before I do. It's crazy, but yeah, this is what Keem is talking about. They're mixing up. They're just giving it to him because he's Jake Paul. It's no
And
possible.
money. And
Of
money.
course, it's money, but it's no possible way you should be getting ranked
See,
Yeah,
over.
I don't want professional boxing, even though I'm not a hardcore fan of it, but I don't want professional boxing to be WWE at all. Like, let influencer boxing be a little bit of WWE showboating and fucking entertainment.
I
I
agree.
don't want fucking phony superstars in pro boxing. And if I was a pro boxing fan, I'd be fucking furious.
Well, I mean, they are furious. That's why I said it's a catch-22. You have you who's saying I completely agree with you, but then you have other people who are like, okay, it's bringing us. You have boxers who are saying it's bringing us money.
and
They're fighting on these undercards.
and one of the reasons why the WBC wants to have Jake ranked is because if by some chance Jake gets a championship fight and he wins, for the fans that don't know, and most of you can attest to this, there's a tax. Like those WBC take like 4%
That
of their
he can
earnings.
all sanctioning fees. That's what those sanctioning fees are. They're just sanctioning fees. People don't want, especially WBC, IBF, WBO. They don't want people who can't pay those sanctioning fees. That's why people lose belts. You want somebody who is going to pay the sanctioning fee, and the sanctioning fee could be, like you said, 10%, 2%, whatever the sanctioning fee is. And every time they test for drugs or something like that, they get a percentage. But yeah, they know
It
Jake Paul is going to pay the sanctioning fee to have that belt.
isn't also percent of the earnings.
Yes,
So
they get a percentage of the purse.
okay, so for people to understand, let's just say 5%. Let's say boxer A, he has a 5%, but his earnings is like 100 grand just for that night. Versus Jake Paul, his earning for that night, 5 million. That percentage for Jake Paul is gonna be much bigger than the one for boxer A. That's why those WBC is pushing for that. It's like, yo, we'll make a year, with Jake just one fight versus
Yeah,
boxer A.
but yeah, but they're gonna figure out what Jake Paul's actually getting paid.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I just put that as an example. But Jake Paul will be making more of an earning than Boxer A. That's why there's like, oh, we can get.
Let me ask you, because we got a pro boxer here. Are you believing these pay-per-view numbers that Jake Paul's been putting out?
No, not gonna lie. Yes and no. It all depends. Like last time with the Woodley fight, I believed it because I was there for the fight. I literally was 8 rows back from the ring. I saw everybody that was on the floor. I really believe that, because people are watching this fight to see Jake Paul lose. And so, yeah, I believe the pay-per-views that were there for the last fight. This fight, I'm a little skeptical about, if the pay-per-views were there, if they weren't there. I did see the seating arrangements, and it looked a little skeptical, but who knows? People buy fights at the last minute. So I
Yeah, but his pay-per-view numbers keep going down and down and down. And the first one with Ben Askren was like 1.6 million pay-per-view buys at like
right.
$50. There's no, there is that did not happen. That just
Yeah,
did not fucking happen.
yeah, I agree with you. They're I think the fans are tired of seeing people like me and you are tired of seeing Jake fight some random basketball player. It's like Jake calling out you to come fight. They're like, bro, Keem has never fought a day in his life. He's not a professional boxer, but you're going to come in and sell these. It. I think they're tired of Jake, beating up on, regular Joe people.
Who do you
If you
think would
call,
have won, Jake or Hasim?
well, remember Hasim is my nephew. So regardless of how I feel, I'm gonna be honest. I think Jake would have given my nephew a run for his money, but I think my nephew would have pushed it out because he is the more talented boxer, and I think Jake would have been overwhelmed about really getting in there with somebody who's going to punch back. Remember his last fight with Tyrone Woodley, he was kind of losing.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
the
there. I was actually at the fight as well. We had a
okay, you were
suite up
there.
at the top.
Wait,
Yeah. It was boring. It was fucking boring.
wait,
And he was
were
losing.
you in Logan's suite?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
My whole Happy Punch and LFM, we had like a whole thing. It was just a bunch of YouTubers and influencers. We had
so I
like,
was in Logan's suite at the time when I saw. Literally, I was eating pizza like just. I think I turned around playing with my daughter because it was so boring. I agree, and I think Jake was losing the fifth and sixth round, or the fourth and fifth round. I think he was losing 3 or 4 rounds, and so once he got the knockout, it was over. But yeah, I agree. It was boring.
I was
it
there.
was,
I was on the floor. I was booing. Me and the whole crowd was booing. Like we want to see some action.
dude,
And
we
then
were all booing too. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'll let you
no,
talk in
you
just two
good.
seconds.
You good.
But I got to tell the story. We were all just bored. Like we were bored. We were all sitting around. We're like, yeah, Jake's losing. He's definitely losing this one, right? But when he knocked out Tyron Woodley hit the canvas so hard. You got to understand, I'm in a suite, so I'm at the fucking top of the
Yeah, you
arena,
heard that.
right?
You heard that.
It fucking echoed through the entire arena. Dude, the place was like silent or something because when it
Yep.
hit, it was like a tree fell over. It was wild.
Yep, it made me turn around.
I was literally I think third, fourth row. So I was close. And I was like, damn. And like round four, I tweeted out, well, I don't think knockout's gonna happen. And in 2 rounds, it not happened. But I'm on the floor and it's boring. And as soon as Wooly hit the canvas, the shit was loud. I looked over, hundreds, when I say hundreds, 50 people rushed to the barricade to try to take pictures. Like, oh, the floor was shaking, dog. People were like, oh, like I never experienced that. Hearing
It
that
was
thud,
it was so insane. It was like boom, and then the place
yep,
erupted. I remember
yep.
tweeting out Jake Paul just made history because I saw from way up where I was at that was the most like fucking insane
Yeah,
knockout
that was a
ever.
brutal knock. I don't even have a knockout like that, and I got 7 KOs. I don't have a knockout like that. It was ridiculous. You got to give props to him. So, Keem, I got a question. How do you think the fight would have went between my nephew and Jake?
I honestly think that Jake Paul. I think it would have went to the judges. That's what I really believe. I think it would have went to the judges, and I think Jake Paul would have won with the judges.
You think the judges would have been swayed by him?
100%, 100%, dude. The people behind the scenes in boxing, the ones pulling the strings. I'm not talking about the fans. I'm not talking about the fighters. The motherfucking business dudes, the guys in fucking suits making fucking money off this shit. They want Jake Paul to win. They see Jake Paul as good
He's a
for their.
ticket.
Yep.
He's a ticket
They.
to everybody.
Yep. So, dude, and you know how shady boxing is, right? I think if it ever goes to the judges, Jake Paul always wins.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Well, even in camp, we knew that we couldn't let it go to the judges. And as a boxer, we always say, like, if we're coming into a fight where we're the opponent, we know that, okay, we have to hurt this guy to the point where there is no judgment or doubt in anybody's head that we won, that we didn't win. So I agree with you with that one. Not saying that the judges are just are corrupted, but yeah, I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. He's going to get favoritism no matter what. He's the meal ticket, right, for the entire thing. Um, or at least that's the way everyone sees it. I don't know what the fucking. You know what I hate is that we don't have real fucking pay-per-view numbers. That there's not some independent fucking organization that goes and vets the numbers and then releases them. Like Universal making sure, guaranteeing that these are the fucking correct numbers. How can anybody conduct business with any of these guys when they can just lie about their pay-per-view sales? I mean,
Because you
that's
have so
fucking
many separate
insane.
entities. You sorry to interrupt you, but in boxing we have literally everybody's an entity. When I tell you the boxer is an entity, the manager, the promoter, the sanctioning fee, the sanctioning body of for WBC is for belt, um the uh the judges, literally everybody is under a different umbrella. And so everybody, it's weird. It's like everybody works with each other, but nobody trusts each other. Nobody trusts one another in order to, like, say, let's just be honest about what's going on. Because boxing has always been like that, and now the YouTubers are starting to get like that.
Yep. Yep. It's a shame.
Well, here's the thing. Like when KSI's event, is the zone gonna put out the numbers they did for Amanda versus Katie? But I wonder if they're gonna do that for KSI.
I think they only do that because it's so astronomical, from relative to what they usually get. I think that's why they usually put it out. But they don't usually put it out if it's not a big fight. Like, if you Triple G, of course, Triple G Canelo, Anthony Joshua, KSI, and Logan Paul, people like that. Yeah, they're going to put those numbers out because it's going to be stupid, compared to what they usually get. But they're not putting out them numbers every fight. They're not. You're not going to see that every fight. You're only going to see it with big cards where they can prove that they just made stupid money off of it.
Gotcha. Well, Muhsin, since you're here, man, do you have a fight lined up?
Yes, I actually have a fight in Baltimore, September 24th on the Shabazz undercard. Hopefully, I would have loved to be. I'd love to be on one of those cards, even be a commentator. Like I said, I've learned that you have to be more than just a boxer. You got to be an influencer as well. So, I'm working my way up in the ranks as far as being an influencer as well. So,
I know
as far
Ryan.
as
I was just gonna say, I know Ryan Garcia gets a lot of hate, but like, dude, that guy's fucking brilliant. Like doing the
well,
social
he's
media
so
and
intelligent. And the crazy thing is, 4 years ago, I had 1,200 followers. Nobody knew who I was. I was 4-0. If it wasn't for KSI bringing me into that camp and me looking at the fact that he was making millions of dollars his first fight, I literally said, I told my wife, I said, I got to be an influencer. And my wife was like, what are you talking about? I said, I got to be an influencer because in order for me to get the money that Jake Paul is getting and KSI are getting, I got to be there. I literally asked KSI. I sat down with KSI. I asked a Nissan Gibb, Vidal Raleigh. I even asked Jake Paul when I was in camp with him. I said, hey, what can you guys give me? What advice can you guys give me? And now I'm at 40,000 followers and growing, and it's better opportunities for me because of that. But yeah, you got to give it to Ryan Garcia. He's freaking a main event because of his following, not because of his skills. But so is Jake Paul, so is KSI. You got to give it to them. So
Yeah.
they found the blueprint to put money, but that has always been it. Sugar Ray Leonard, Anthony Joshua, all of these guys, even Tyson Fury, they're all famous outside of boxing because they have a platform and they've built it up where they're more than just a boxer. They're a celebrity. They're social media. They have big platforms.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all just a fucking business. It's all a business.
That's it. Business disguised as a sport.
All right, Muhsin, I got to end this chat. Thanks for everybody who stopped by, all the guests. But again, next year, right now, looking like KSI, Jake Paul, you was in the ring with both. You spar both. Who wins?
Ooh, ooh. All right, I'm gonna keep it honest. I got Jake. I haven't seen KSI spar. If I spar KSI again, KSI is strong as hell. He has a hell of a right hand. So does Jake, but I think Jake has better boxing because he's been in it longer. And I think he's taking it more serious. So I'm gonna go with KSI for the. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Jake Paul for the knockout. Over KSI. Unless KSI shows me something different, shows me some better skills, I think Jake has just surpassed him with his skills for right now.
I strongly disagree. The one thing about KSI is that fucking dude's mind is like no one else's.
Keem,
Like
you can't
that.
train a chin. You can't train a chin, bro. I'm you can't train a chin. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you can't train a chin. And I don't think KSI has a chin because you saw what
You're
happened
a
when Logan hit him.
professional boxer. You're a professional boxer. My expertise is fucking drama in the in the entertainment
Hey,
space.
and I love it. I'm a fan. I follow you, so I love your expertise. I love the commentators. So listen, I appreciate it. But I've been in there with both of them. I've had Jake take I've kind of working with him and making sure that he gets the right amount of skill level for his fights. I've seen Jake take a punch where I'm like, oh, that would have knocked JJ out because I've hurt JJ with a punch that really wasn't like that. I don't think JJ has a chin like that.
Nah, dude. Like, okay, let's think about this. All right. KSI has absolutely no business in beating Joe Weller. This is like the birth of YouTube boxing, right? Back in the day. But he beats him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
KSI has no fucking. Dude, Logan Paul is a natural athlete.
Fact,
Logan
and he's
Paul
big.
is fucking scary. All
He's my
right.
size.
He is fucking terrifying. Logan Paul went to the WWE as a celebrity like appearance and then became a WWE superstar because he could do all the moves in like 2 weeks. All right. Logan
Agreed.
Paul is a freak athlete. KSI has no business beating him, but mind over matter finds a fucking way. The
Damn.
heart, the heart and the brain of KSI is like insane. It's fucking insane. The
I
will to
I
win
agree.
is so fucking insane. And I understand Jake has that too. Jake
Yeah,
has
Jake
that killer
Jake has that
instinct.
same. I've seen both of them in camp where they're running hard. Like King, these dudes train harder than a lot of professional boxers. Like when I tell you these dudes train hard, they train hard. Sometimes, like as far as JJ's workouts, some of his workouts, even some of Jake Paul's workouts, some of their workouts are like, bro, I gotta get better. I gotta like step my game up, cause like if they're doing this and they're YouTubers, I gotta step my game up, cause they're doing it. So I agree. But I don't know, man. Jake got heart, man. Jake got heart. JJ has heart too. I'm not taking anything away from him because both of them have come into the sport and you know um even been on a stage that's been bigger than a lot of us. I've never fought in front of that many people, and for them to still try to fight in front of that many people is a testament to what they can do, and like you said, their mindset. I just got to see KSI do something different.
I gotta. When's the last time you sparred with KSI or seen him?
Shoot, I think the last when he fought Jake. I mean, when he fought Logan.
Okay. So KSI uploaded a brand new music video, and I do know a lot of private shit behind the scenes, but he uploaded a new music video, and in the music video, KSI, the one that fought Logan, is fighting the new KSI, right? And he fucking
Mm,
knocks out the KSI that fought Logan. Like that's what he's trying to say to everyone is like, look, this is a fucking new KSI. And I
mm.
know people that sparred him before have sparred him recently and got their ass fucking kicked.
See,
JJ
now I want to get in there. now I wanna,
JJ knows right now that he is in the best boxing shape of his fucking life, that
you
his
can see it.
skills are better than they've ever been before. And he
Mm.
literally put it in a fucking music video of him knocking out the old KSI.
Hey, me and you gonna have to commentate this fight if it ever happens, because I would love to see this. I don't. I gotta see something different. Even I saw JJ shadow boxing. I'm like, he's gotten a lot better. I don't see it. I
Well,
don't see
look,
Dude,
it.
that's
but I
hey,
get
that's
it.
two.
Jake Paul, go ahead.
Oh,
I always cut off Fight Lounge. I'm so sorry, bro.
no, you cool, King. I mean, like this is what this space is for. Like again, most of him, he's a pro boxer, but he understands this world. He's been there with Gib, Jake, KSI. We all can chat. That's why I want this. I want everybody to be on the same level field. Don't look down nobody, no talk. So I like this. 'Cause again, this is a niche sport, YouTube boxing. We're all passive about it. But I was gonna say, Muhsin, KSI fights August 27th in London. It's on pay-per-view. You want to see how he looks? Boom.
I'm gonna be tuned in for the fight. Like I said, I'm a fan of both of them. I love what they're doing, so I'm gonna watch it. And as an influencer, as a micro influencer, as a small influencer, like I said, I want to see what KSI is gonna do. I want to see his skill set. Hey, I might tell Keem literally right after, like, all right, I'm gonna go with JJ for this one, but we got to see.
Well, let me say this. All right. In every single one of KSI's fights, when he fought Joe Weller, when he fought Logan the first time, when he fought Logan the second time, KSI was not supposed to win any of these fights. He was the underdog. The
Agreed.
unfortunate thing that's happening right now is that when he was supposed to fight Alex Wasabi, he's supposed to destroy Alex Wasabi. When he's fighting this new guy, Swarms, all right, he's supposed to destroy him. So I don't know if we're gonna get to see who KSI really is right now.
So you said we have to get a better opponent in order to see him bring out his better skills.
Dude, we need to see KSI versus Austin McBroom. That is the fight that is going to show us
I gotta
where
go with spar.
KSI
I gotta
is.
go and spar JJ. I gotta see for myself. I won't even. Me and you can have a phone call or something like that. I can't. I wouldn't be able to say it online, but I gotta see what this new JJ is looking like, because his body looks right. He looks like he's in shape. He looks like he's doing what he's supposed to do. So I gotta see what he's doing.
Dude, I don't know shit about anything when it comes to boxing or training for a boxing match. I really don't. I'm the
Bro, you,
entertainment
you know
expert.
you know enough. You know enough. The what
But
I've
Yeah.
what I've
I
heard so
seen the
far, you know enough.
I seen the video of JJ doing some exercise where he's jumping back and forth on his head. Did you guys see this shit?
Yeah, I saw it.
Like, what the fuck is that? That's not standard in a boxing gym, is it?
Yeah, so it's not standard, but yeah, to work out your neck. If you watch I think he saw Triple G doing it. A lot of Russian fighters do it. They'll put like a towel under their head, and they'll just like move their neck around to strengthen their neck.
It's fucking
it,
insane.
it
But
really is. But like I said, he's
he
JJ.
doesn't have to. I
He
think it's kind of
doesn't
like King's
have to,
point.
but
Yeah.
he's doing it, and you gotta give it to him. I agree, Keem. You gotta give it to him. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's going above and beyond, and his skill set has gotten better, drastically better from what we've seen. So,
Should we
you
just
know,
bring should I bring a garbage bag or excuse me, a body bag for Swarms? Like, just
listen,
like,
you bring the body bag, I'll bring the stretcher, and we'll just carry him out, because I don't know what Swarm. I guess Swarm just wants the publicity at this
yeah,
point.
Swarms is a guy from the street. I don't I know he was training because he was the backup, right? So he was training. Like, I don't want to say like it's just some random guy off the street because that's not really true.
No, he is just some. As far as boxing, relative to boxing, he's a random guy off the street.
Yeah. But he's
It
not
doesn't matter if
literally
he's.
just a guy off the street.
I agree. I hear you, but
But
yeah,
there's just no chance. There's like literally no fucking chance for Swarms.
he's going to die because that boy JJ hits hard, and regardless of how easy I took it on him and how it was training and things like that, I gotta give it to JJ. Both of them, how about this? KSI hits harder than Jake. I'll say that. I'll
Wow.
say that. I'm gonna say that KSI hits harder than Jake.
That's news. Clip
It is
that,
news.
Alex.
Hey,
Clip that.
Fight
Happy
Lounge.
Punch. What's up,
Exclusive.
Happy Punch?
Fight Lounge, delete that.
Hey.
Delete that. Don't let me
Hey.
see news tomorrow. No, but no, I'm gonna keep it honest. JJ hits harder than Jake. I will say he got that African strength. I
Yeah.
gotta give it to him.
Hey, you don't get exclusive like that on the Punch Tour Space.
Yeah, that's
You know what's
exclusive.
crazy? You know KSI's brother Deji, right?
Bum. I
Yeah.
don't even know why he's boxing still.
Anyhow, Deji, like he doesn't have that work ethic, right? But
No.
when they both started training with Vidal, like originally for the Jake Paul versus Logan Paul,
Yeah.
Deji was naturally stronger than KSI. And Vidal
Nah, I
swears
don't
by
believe
it.
that.
Dude, he swears by it. Deji is just naturally strong, like a
He
super
doesn't have
hard
that
hitter.
mentality to keep going though.
Exactly. He doesn't have the work ethic to like train and shit, but he's naturally a harder hitter.
Hasim, you're in the chat. You're in the chat. I sent you a request. We want to know what happened between you and Drake.
Yeah, we got Hasim here. That's
What
crazy.
it do, Emma?
You know what would have been amazing? Imagine this. All right, let's play a game of imagination for a second. All right, Jake Paul and Hasim fight on the August 27th card, but also Austin and Gibb fight on the August 27th. Bro, that would be the biggest pay-per-view event in history.
That pay-per-view would be crazy.
The card is already insane as it is right now. Imagine adding those two fights. Fight Lounge, what do you think?
Oh yeah, that would have been that would have been huge. Hasim, what's good, man?
What's up?
Man,
Assalamualaikum. What's up,
speak
Muhsin?
about
Walaikum assalam. What's up, chat?
Hasim, man. I was gonna say, you've been on here before. You did an interview with me on the Stereo app, so I was so happy with the opportunity you got. Madison Square Garden, main event, getting the bag, etc. And then shit just went left, man.
Y'all see what Jake Paul trying to do, man. Same way he trying to bring Katie Taylor down to 126 to fight Amanda Serrano, man. He trying to weight drain the sport, trying to buy victories, trying to make it seem like it's not what it is. Let the people fight at the weight class that they fighting at. Why is he like? I don't understand why nobody is making calls. Nobody else does that. Like I said during the promotion, you don't see Shakur Stevenson calling out Jamal Charlo to come from 154 down to 130. You don't see these type of stuff. That's the only time that you'll see Jake even attempt to get in there with a real boxer is if he got somebody that's either coming way up. He gonna make somebody come way up like he did in all his fights. And Nate Robinson, Woodley, he making them guys come up, or he gonna try to have somebody come way down like me. I mean, that's really the long end of it. He trying to be a weight bully, but he
I
don't know what he's doing.
I agree, but unfortunately, he's got the clout to like pull those moves and get away with those moves. Hasim, I got to ask you about Pam Paul, Jake's mom. Thoughts on her?
So, honestly, I thought it was her that actually tweeted it, but their team has come out and said that it wasn't her that tweeted it. They saying they saying that someone else actually tweeted it from her account. So I'm gonna leave Pam alone for now unless she come back out her mouth crazy.
Yeah, leave Miss Pam alone.
yo, someone else went on Jake Paul's mother's Twitter and tweeted at you, calling you a pussy.
Mike.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
right.
No,
They
it was Mike.
go look at they
Yeah.
on their video vlog thing. They went on there and said it when Logan read the tweet out loud. They went out there and said it.
Yeah, Mike tweeted that.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm with Keem on it. I think they realized that I think they realized who they were talking to. And
Like I'm not gonna like they thought I was gonna let that slide.
well, you remember that usually they're used to people who aren't real boxers. So yeah, Jake and Logan look big to a lot of people. So they probably it's a scare factor. But to us, it's not. We ain't scared of them. It's not going to
Ain't
be
no
like that.
intimidation. There
So
was zero intimidation. Zero. I would have, man. You seen? I was standing next to Jake and Logan. They wasn't gonna do nothing to me.
That's funny. No, we all know it was Pam. Come on. We're not stupid. Nobody's on
it was
Pam's
Miss Pam.
account tweeting at you
It
that
was
you're a
Miss Pam.
pussy. That's just stupid. Like, that doesn't even make sense. All right, let's say Pam has someone that runs her Twitter, all right? She has an assistant or some shit, which she doesn't, but let's say
She
she
still got to
does.
prove it.
The assistant isn't going to say, you're a pussy. Like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Insane.
That's how I look at it. Like, but they came out and they said that it wasn't her, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But she know better now. She know better now than to come out her mouth disrespectful to me. She got Mama Rock in the answer too.
Hasim is being a gentleman and being the bigger person. He's going to leave it at that. That's
Well, like, here's the good thing, right? Even though this fight got canceled, here's the good thing, right? You still got the clout, right? People now know you in the entertainment world, which will set you up for some type of opportunity, I would assume, in this clout world, right? Like, there's just been so much talk about this fight being canceled and whatnot that I'm sure that some opportunity is going to open up, whether it be on Social Gloves or Misfit Boxing or something.
I mean, alhamdulillah, we here, and I just got to take advantage of whatever opportunities come my way. So, y'all stay tuned, stay real tuned
Hey,
into my social media because we might got something real big coming up. Y'all might like it.
Hey King,
I
we got
was
to start. I got to start co-hosting with you on a fight card or something. We'd make a hilarious duo.
I always tell them, right, because I'm working the August 27th event. I'm one of the commentators, right? And I, like, when they were hiring people and they came to me, I was like, listen, you got to put me next to someone that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about, because I'm the guy that's like just fucking woo and wah and oh my god and shit like that. Like, I'm not fucking an expert in this shit.
but see, Keem knows the story. Like when they say Sam High versus Thompson, Keem can explain who these guys are,
Yeah,
That's
what
I'm
the
the
the guy
fight.
thing.
that's like, this all started 3 weeks ago when he said that he fucked this other dude's mom. Like, I'm that guy.
But Keem, just like me and you, just like me and Hasim are kind of boxing. We can tell you what's going on in the pro boxing world. You can say what's going on in the in the
Influencer.
influencer world, and so you are just as much of an asset as everybody else because you know what's going on in the background.
Yeah, that's why I just need a good partner to team up with. That's an expert. Because, like, imagine if I was commentating that Jake and Hassam. Like, I would bring up Pam. I'd be talking about that tweet from Pam. That's all I'd be talking about. Hassim's really doing a move on Jake right now. I wonder if Pam, Jake's mother, still thinks he's a pussy.
Hasim, one thing I want to ask, man. What do you think with Steven Espinoza? Like, he's really backing up Jake. What do you think? Like, I know you treated that like a lawsuit, something. He was like, if that was the case, you and me in the car. What's your take on the whole thing?
I feel like the only reason why I was on the card was because of Jake Paul's team. Jake Paul's team pushed and pushed and pushed for me to be on the card. It was pretty much I was like the last option that they had left to save the card. Showtime told me, told my handlers when I turned pro, they weren't doing me or my brother no favors in light of what had happened in the lawsuit. And for them to come back and say, "Oh well, if there's a vendetta, you wouldn't have been on the card." No, if you'd have had another option, I wouldn't have been on the card. If there'd have been any other option available, any viable option available, I wouldn't have been on the card. But it's
Only
clear.
option they would have
It
chosen.
was, right, and it was clear during the promotion of the event. They come out and say that they want to do more business with Jake Paul before after the fight. You know, if Jake Paul would have got knocked out, would they have still been doing that? If Jake Paul would have got another opportunity elsewhere, would they have still been doing that? Obviously, Jake don't give a fuck about Showtime because as soon as the fight was off, the next day or the day after, or whenever the case may be, the next option that Jake put out there for a fight, he talking about fighting on his own. He didn't left Showtime on the back burner. Like he don't have no loyalty to Showtime, but Showtime wanted to put all the eggs in that basket. So we're gonna see who reigns supreme in the boxing world at the end of the day, myself or Jake Paul. And I just feel like Showtime dropped the ball with that one.
Hasim, I got to ask you this question because there's a lot of people here from the entertainment world in this chat right now. And I think the question we had when you got picked as the opponent is why did Jake Paul pick you?
Before he made the sparring public and realized, damn, this guy really was toying with me. Like anybody outside of his camp has said, only the people in his camp are trying to get him to believe that he could do something with me in the ring. And you can see it all in the comments, all in the tweets, YouTube. You see it all over what the majority of the people are saying. Um, but another thing is like the first thing I said when I came on here, he a weight bully. He tried to be a weight bully and use his money and clout to move people around weight classes where they don't fight at. He wants Katie Taylor to drop the 126 to fight Amanda Serrano. That's not her weight class. Her weight class 135. He want me to come from 224 down to 200. It's not my weight class. My weight class is 224 heavyweight.
Fight Lounge.
I think that he's a bully in a sense. Like he want to be a weight bully. He just want to advantage, whether it be somebody got to come way up or somebody got to come all the way down. He could have easily fought Muhsin or even Jay Leon or somebody like that, like somebody around his weight to even avoid all this stupid nonsense. If he knew he wasn't gonna fight me, then he should have never took the fight. Um, Everybody keeps saying how I backed out. I backed out. How I back out when I never did anything against the contract. The contract said if I came in over for every pound I was over, I lost 25%. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. And I take my fines, and then I go ahead and fight the fight with only sponsorship money. We don't see nobody out here doing that. But Jake was so like, oh shit, he really can do that. No, let's get out of here. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this situation. I don't want to be in there. Jake knows what's going to happen if we ever get in the ring again, whether it be sparring, boxing, fighting. He knows what's going to happen to him. He's going to get seriously hurt.
That makes sense. Fight Lounge, let me ask you this question. When they did the little press conference, Hasim and Jake Paul, that did not go in Jake's favor at all. We've seen Jake Paul's press conferences. We've seen him talking shit. We've seen him clowning on people, egoing people. It didn't work with Hasim at all.
I agree, man. Sorry if you guys hear me. I'm taking up trash. I was gonna say the only thing Jake had on Hasim was the training, and when Hasim's dad said, "Oh yeah, he doesn't put 100% of work." That was the only thing Jake had on him. Besides that, it was nothing.
That's not even. See, everybody keep twisting up what he said. That's not what he said. He didn't say I ain't put 100% work. He didn't say I was lazy. He didn't say none of that. And people keep coming out saying that he said that. He said that I've been underprepared for majority of my fights. He didn't say I have been unprepared for all my fights. He said I've been underprepared for majority of my fights, which means that I could have been better prepared stepping in the ring. That's all he said. And people try to twist and make out of what his words what they want to make out. He said I've been underprepared for majority of my fights. That's what he meant. I could have been better prepared for the Kenzie fight. I could have been better prepared for a few other fights where I went to the decision. Obviously, the fights where I won by knockout, I was prepared enough to win by knockout and got the victory. But I think that any father that's a champion is going to be hard on their son in this sport.
Yeah, that's exactly how I saw that. I just meant I'm so used to seeing Jake Paul fucking talk shit, ego, clown, like fucking like really fucking get under the skin of his opponents and like kind of own the fucking stage in every single one of these press conferences. And he couldn't do it with Hasim at all. He just couldn't. Like I thought you came across very well in that press conference, and I was like, this is something different than we're used to.
And it was gonna be the same thing on fight night, man. He wasn't gonna get to do what he's used to doing. He's used to being a bully in there, and he's used to someone in there not making him think, not making him have to adjust, not making him have to react. I had every advantage in this fight, and it was gonna be exploited. So I feel like he found the first out and took it.
I was gonna say, and that was my point. Like, but besides those, Jake had nothing for you. Like again, like King said, Jake would just say some shit to try to get on your skin. Nothing worked, and so I think like I said, that's why people got to see your
Do you have
personality.
any legal action?
Oh no, I'm cool. King, you can go ahead.
Do you have any legal recourse? Because like what you're saying is like, look, I just abided by the contract. I didn't break the contract. Then does that mean that Jake Paul broke the contract?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not exactly sure because the commission got involved. Under whose request is still up for debate. I believe in my heart of hearts that it was Jake's team that got the commission involved, and because we wasn't gonna give them an update every week, they asked for, whatever the case may be. Weekly check-ins was never a part of this contract. Weekly check-ins was never a part of this event. I would have said no from the beginning if they would have told me that I had to weigh in every week in order to make this fight happen. That's preposterous, man. It's unheard of. You give me 3 weeks, you tell me to lose all this weight, and then you gonna check on me every single week. Leading up to it, I gotta weigh in every week. The day the fight got canceled, they was asking me to weigh in 208. Why do I gotta weigh in 208 for a fight where I gotta weigh in 205 on the next Friday? It made no sense. With that being said, man, I think that Jake found every weapon that he could and he used it. And then as soon as he seen her out, he took it.
Okay,
You're making a good
go.
argument because when this story first came out, like I was going with the information that I had, and Jake Paul was running quite a propaganda campaign against you. And it's like now, like hearing, well, I did hear your story before, but now, like hearing it right now, it just makes sense. Like, look, if I agree to a contract and I agree to these penalties for being overweight, then why can't I be overweight? I just won't get paid. Like, that makes sense.
I mean, that's my point. We signed a contract. Y'all keep making a big deal about me signing a contract. And they say, well, you say you signed a contract to make 200 pounds. I did, but I also signed a contract that says if I don't make 200 pounds, which has always been a possibility, that's why it's in the contract, then I will be fine. Now we coming up on that point where, okay, now I'm gonna get a fine. I'm gonna fight you for whatever, just because I want to fight that bad. It proves that he clearly is the one that don't want the fight, the actual fight, to go down. He didn't want to get in there with me, and I missed the weight. How embarrassing would that have been for him? Like, damn, Rockman really only got the 5,000 minimum,
And
and
to add
still
to it,
knocked
oh
and still
sorry,
knocked you out. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
champ.
And to add to it, Hasim, I'm in Vegas, so I'm watching Hasim trying to lose this weight. He's losing the weight. He's losing the weight well. But when you have, people who are scared and worried about his weight so much, you're like, well, what weight are you at now? What's going on here? What's going on here? You know, we knew it was going to wind up, getting canceled for some stupid reason. But
Well,
like you said, he was training. He was ready for the fight.
Well, the commissioner literally told Jake's coach that they were worried about Jake. He said it in an interview. Did you see that? Like Fight Lounge.
I
Maybe
mean,
you remember this.
everybody was saying that they was worried about him.
He's the
Yeah.
money ticket. He's the
What was right?
Oh,
What was gonna happen to him was gonna spoil everybody's plans. I mean, look at the WBC. They didn't come out and say that the winner is gonna get a ranking. They came out and said if Jake Paul beats Rockman, he's gonna get ranked. The Showtime executive Steven Espinoza, he didn't come out and say, "Well, we look to make big things happen for whoever wins this exciting matchup." He came out and said, "We looking to do big business with Jake Paul and get him to fight Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor and all this and all that." They was already writing me off before I even got a chance to get in the ring. And these are the official people. The official people said they didn't even want to make this fight because of the difference in they've been seeing me. They've seen me come up from an amateur and go to all the Golden Gloves. I went to the Golden Gloves every year straight from 2008 when I turned open all the way up until 2014 when I went away. I made it to every national Golden Glove. Went to every national tournament, every USA Boxing national, the nationals tournaments. Was fighting in all of those. Was fighting in the PAL. Represented the USA team in international competition. Like, come on, man, you gonna sit here and tell me, and then turn pro, and Jake try to take what I was saying. Like, the boy listens to my interviews and was listening to my stuff before we even signed the fight, because he came out and started saying the same exact thing I was saying. After I suffered my first defeat to Kenzie, I was saying, like, yo, like, where in history do you see somebody at 12-0 that didn't go to the Olympics, that hasn't fought on no world stage yet? Where do you see somebody 12-0 fighting somebody 20-0? You don't see it. I fought a fighter with 21 fights, 19 knockouts, and or he was 19-0, 17 knockouts at the time with 21 fights. He had 2 draws. So you got a guy that went 21 fights, got a 90% knockout ratio. Where do you see somebody 12-0 with a 50% knockout ratio taking that kind of risk? You don't see it. That's what I was saying before this whole Jake thing came out. So he started watching my interviews, started trying to study me. He heard me say that, and then he started to spin it into his own narrative. Oh, well, where do you see a guy 5-0 taking these type of risks? Look at who Javante fought. Look at who Floyd fought. Look at who this person, that person, this person, you, and you. Look who you guys fought at 5-0. Like, come on, bro. You just took the same words out of my mouth and just tried to spin them into your own narrative. It's Jake Paul is a fucking fake, man. He been a fake with that fake ass belt, his fake ass undefeated record, his fake ass style. Everything about him fake. His jewelry don't even glisten for real. His jewelry probably fake for real. Just to be honest.
Well, you're going to have to run a campaign for maybe even years to get the opportunity to fight Jake. You're going to have to get an army of people behind you saying, fight Hasim, fight Hasim. Like, that's the only way. Because, look, now that I'm looking at this, it looks like they were just scared. You also got to remember, Jake just released a brand new company, major sports betting
Better.
company or something like that. Better, or whatever it was called. That thing was planned to be, announced and released right after he knocks out Tommy Fury, right? Like, that was the plan. We're gonna beat up Tommy Fury, and then we're announcing this fucking thing. They back out of this fight with you because they feel like, well, look, dude, this company's not gonna do well if I'm coming off of a loss and I have to promote this thing.
And how much boxing has Jake even talked about since this has been over with? He ain't been he's been trying to fight. How many boxers has he tried to fight? How many boxers has
Two,
he called out? Which ones? Because I
you and
only
Tommy Fury.
I'm talking about, like, after the fight, he's been trying to fight KSI or Andrew Tate or Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz. He ain't trying to fight no boxer. He gonna get exposed.
What do you think happens between him and Andrew Tate?
I don't know who Andrew Tate is. I'm just being honest.
I got Jake over Andrew Tate because Andrew Tate is a
Kickboxer.
drinking. He's a kickboxer. He's drinking. He's partying. It's no possible way you're gonna be 5 years away from the sport, partying your life away, and then let me just go ahead and get back to this. It's not how it works.
That's
Hasim,
That's a huge. Yeah, I agree with you, but that's a huge pay-per-view payday. That's
Oh,
insane.
those numbers would be crazy because Andrew Tate is a phenom when it comes to the influencer world. But him
He's
getting
king.
back
He's
into
king
the
of the
ring,
internet.
thinking he's about to do exactly what he was doing before, and on top of that, he's never boxed. He's a kickboxer. Nah, it's gonna be a completely different story.
He's built like a boxer too. Like he's literally built like it.
I just wish Jake would have fought my nephew or me or somebody. We could have ended that career real quick.
Hasim, I have a question. They was talking about how this fight was going to be the top 10 grossing fights in Madison Square Garden. Is there any truth to that?
I mean, that's what they say, but you just got to look at it. Look at the facts, man. When you look at the facts and you go to they got screenshots now when the fight was still on, right when it got called off. The arena, look at the it shows it in blue and in gray, and it shows how many tickets are still available. So they can come out and say whatever they want to say, but the proof is right there. Like how you really go and sit there and tell us something when we looking right at it? Like y'all got them numbers out here for us to look at, and you gonna sit here and say this is top 10? Come on, man. The whole damn near the whole picture blue.
You know how Jake messed up? I've been saying it from the very beginning of this YouTuber boxing, this influencer boxing shit. I was like, we need to go to Madison Square Garden. We got to be in Madison Square Garden. It has to happen in Madison Square Garden. I've told every person behind the scenes, everyone's setting up these fights. I'm like, pick Madison Square Garden. This was the chance for it. It was going to happen. And then it didn't.
It's again the two places that YouTube boxing has in two major places I should say is New York and Vegas. Vegas, I would like to see. I know Tommy Fury can't come in the U.S., so you can ask that fight. Maybe Jake versus Andrew Tate, something one of those venues in Vegas or something.
Yo, Wade, you ready? You ready for the 27th, Wade? We about to turn it up. You know that, right?
He's just a listener. He can't he
Yeah, he
can't
can't be a
speak,
spectator.
but you
Oh, okay.
can invite him to speak.
Yeah, I sent an invite. So again, let's speak on that. You tweeted out with the British flag, and everybody was freaking out. Like, oh, are you gonna fight on the Misfits? What was behind that tweet?
Big UK vibes, man. Big UK vibes. I ain't gonna speak too much on it until it's official, but I'm loving the UK right now. It's looking real bright over there for me.
Well, I
I,
mean, he tweeted he requested that Jake Paul comes to the UK and fights on the undercard. Like that came out 3 days ago.
yeah, but I don't see Jay doing it. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Like I
I don't see
said,
Jay.
Jake don't want to fight nobody on no even playing field, man. Now that he sees that I was around the weight, now that I'm around the weight, and that would have gave me it would have turned a 3-week camp into a 6 or 7 week camp. Man, hell no. He not gonna get in there with me. The only way he was trying to get in there with me is me dropping 20 plus pounds in 3 weeks. That's the only way. And once he's seen his way out from doing that, whereas, damn, this guy might really have a game plan to come in there and really fuck me up. He tucked his tail and ran. Just like I kept telling everybody when Jake gets in there, he's a panicker. I think he's gonna panic, and just my words came true. He fucking panicked.
A fight that you've been wanting for years is Fidel Riley. You think now since your name has gotten out, that you do have some clout. You think that's any closer to happening?
Yeah, I wanna fight at cruiserweight first though before I go into, because I got a lot more respect for Vidal's boxing prowess than I do for Jake's. So I wouldn't just hop right into that right as my first fight at cruiserweight like I would with Jake. But yeah, that's definitely a fight that can happen. And I seen Vidal said something on his channel and was talking about his channel about like I was calling him out at cruiserweight. I was never calling him out at cruiserweight. I never said anything about a weight for me and him to fight at. Well, I always just said that we could fight. We could fight. When I took his place on the Tyson Jones card, that was at a catch weight. at a catch weight of 210. So assuming that we would have fought at 210, he would have got handled. It's not out of the realms that uh, uh, a cruiserweight fights a heavyweight, but we just got to make all the terms work for everybody involved and not come with this stupid ass no negotiation, or you don't get to say anything that has to do with the terms of the fight and all that type of shit. Once that gets cut out, then we have a better playing field. We have a more engaging playing field for the audience. Both fighters are comfortable, and you get good fights. You get great fights, and yeah, I would love to derail the Vidal train and then move on and fight whoever. But I'm not really honestly like looking into the fighting the influencers or the YouTubers like that. I'm still focused on grabbing a world title, and then I can call my own shots and call my own people out because I got a lot more at stake. Now you fighting the world champion who also has a name.
Well, this a question I asked your uncle when he was on this same tour space weeks ago. I said, if you would have beaten Kingsley Morrison, would you have gotten a fight? What's your answer?
Come on, man, absolutely not. That's the only reason why yeah, I don't know if y'all caught All Access. But that was the only reason why they even took the fight. They sit back, they're watching that fight, and they think that they can do, what my opponent Kenzie did, which this would have been two completely different fights. He's not as experienced, as big, or hits as hard as Kenzie. But I absolutely, if the next 4 rounds would have went like the first 4 rounds, there's no way he would have took this fight. And that's what they was leaning on, man. That's what they was leaning on the whole time. But
Yeah,
I'm
you.
gonna go back to listening to. Yeah, I got my wife right here tripping. She wants to spend some time with me. But I got
Well,
y'all. I'll be back.
well,
I'll be back, and I'm still listening.
okay. Well, I was gonna say thank you for speaking because I think I'm about to wrap it up. It's like 1 a.m. my time. I'm on the East Coast, but yeah, shout out to everybody who's listening. Um, I might start doing these late tourist space. It's very hard because we do have a UK audience, UK YouTubers. So I do want to have it be on their time, but man, I can't forget about the West Coast either. But with that said, I am going to wrap it up. It was a great show. Shout out to all the guests. Shout out to Chase, Minicon, of course, King, Hasim, Muhsin, and forget everybody else. I apologize. As you can see, there's a ton of people in the chat right now. We will be doing this again next week. Again, while you're here, follow me on Fight Lounge. That's IG and Twitter, Fight Lounge. Of course, I'll keep you up to date. You guys would like to be on a tour space. Let me know when next one is available. Just hit me up. Again, the next event is going to be August 27th. As of right now, KSI versus Swarms, co-main event, Face Timber versus Slim. I'll be tuning in. So again, make sure you tune into that, and of course, follow the Happy Punch Twitter and IG. Happy Punch will be represented at Misfits Boxing, Five Fighters. King and Gideon, I believe, is going to be on the commentators as well. So it's going to be a very interesting event. I'm going to be having fun. I don't know about you guys. It's going to be a party to me. And so yeah, that's going to be it. And finally, some good news, man, because this whole year, YouTube Boxing, man, event after event after event getting canceled, pushed back, delayed, etc. Even with this event, Misfits, Fires pulled out, Blueface, he got pulled out for obvious reason. Also Sabi. So, just make sure you tune in on August 27th. And again, next week, I'll be doing another tour space. I don't know if I'm going to do it Tuesday or Wednesday, but hey, hit me up in DMs if you want to be a guest. Or let me know who you want to hear from. Of course, I want to hear from everybody from Misfits, everybody from the Hate Punch side, everybody from, like King Candy. I want to hear from him as well. That's going to be due for today. If you wasn't able to hear this whole tour space, I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel. So give me like probably like 5 6 hours. I'll upload the whole chat. So appreciate you guys. I'm gonna wrap this up. Peace out.